Oh my God, no way! So what's going on is that Ken just lost his drone. Not this Ken, other Ken.
You guys are awesome for helping me look, but I feel bad because
It's an adventure. We're searching for it, not having any luck. Other Ken shitting himself. It's a great time. You just watch your footsteps. Just get through here.
is that poison ivy or
Nah,
this thing's slippery? What was that?
just a turtle. He has turtles or something.
Thanks for coming in here.
Whoa, that mud is so slippery.
You got you guys?
That is some fucking mud, dude.
This is green stuff. It's slippery.
This is about where you said you saw it.
Sam boater's probably just gone.
Fuck.
Oh man.
I don't see shit.
Fuck, Scott. That's an alligator, dude.
You know alligator.
Fuck spider. Fuck spider. Fuck shit. Tick spider. Fuck. Ah. What is that?
Some trash.
Ah, that's an alligator, dude.
It's not an alligator.
Then what is it? You don't hear him?
Nope. I hear frogs. Relax, dude.
Are you filming?
Yeah.
Fuck. I think I just shit my pants. I don't even know what's happening anymore. We've been out here for 28 days. If I play back to Goggle DVR, we can come back in the daytime?
Yeah, we could try in the morning. So you have a recording of where it crashed? And we didn't look before we ran over here? Let's go look and we'll reassess.
It's in my ear like it wasn't. Oh, it's just a flight. Sean, have you been recording any of this?
I got a lot of it. Alligator! No, I'm just...
Yeah, oh, you hear that? What was that? This is my first time walking through a
Follow me,
marsh.
just follow me, guys. I'm pretty sure we're not supposed to be down in this area.
I'm getting freaked out of here as fast as I can go.
Let's go look at that video, figure out where this thing actually is.
So we walked back and we viewed the footage that was recorded on Ken's FPV goggles. What happened was pretty crazy, and it was something none of us could have ever expected. Ken was just flying along without a care in the world. Everything was working perfectly. And then just out of nowhere, his drone just dropped like a rock. So as we viewed the FPV footage and we slowed it down frame by frame, all of a sudden, something became clear right in front of the drone. Right before it wrecked and just dropped, a dark image formed directly ahead. So I decided to do some detective work. That evening, I digitally enhanced the image. And to my surprise, I found the culprit, a bat. Armed with this new information, we waited till sunrise and the search began again.
We are back out here searching for Ken's drone because that's what you do. You help each other out, try to find the drone, try to locate the lost items, and hopefully recover them. You want to walk back down there?
Yeah.
Ken and I decided to tromp down here in the midst of the action. And there's already stuff moving in the vegetation again. Yeah. At least we can see it this time, right? There's something big. Just turtles, probably. Lots of turtles.
It could be anywhere from like here to there. Look at that thing.
Dragonflies humping.
Should I smush it?
No, they're having sex.
Oh, yeah.
Well, smush them while they're doing it. You wouldn't want someone to smush you while you're doing it. So many giant frogs hopping around.
Wait a minute. Dude, I found it.
Don't even tell me that. Are you kidding?
Right there. You see it? See
Yes.
my fun fly battery?
Oh, God. Yes. I see
Oh,
it.
my God. I cannot believe
Okay.
it. Oh, my God, dude.
Give me
Are you
your
going
hand.
in? Can
I
you reach it?
without getting all
Here,
muddy.
I'll hold both cameras and your hand. I got you, man. I got you.
Oh, shit.
Oh, Sean! Bro, dude, you okay, man? Dude! Oh my God, dude! Oh my God, dude! You gotta stop falling. Are you okay?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. No way.
I'm so freaking happy. Oh my God!
Operation successful.
You never in a million years thought it would be right here in reach. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Not to bring this up, but this is kind of redemption for you for what you did with our
Oh,
drone,
God,
right?
I'm never gonna live it. We almost didn't walk down here. There's no way we would have found that with the drone.
Thank you, Sean.
Glad to help. No rats this morning. No
Never
snakes.
thought I'd find-
Everything's a-okay.
I'm so happy.
Going back over there, we're gonna act all pissed off. Oh, fuck it, can't find it. You guys have any luck?
You guys see anything? Dude! Oh, yes! 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 Is it dry? It's right there, man! Yes!
Your shoes.
No! I saw the battery. I was like,
Oh
does that
my
say
God.
Butterfly? Yes, it does! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Right?
Quiet last night.
Sean, you're the best. Sean went in the water. You know what? He's got mermaids on his legs.
Yeah,
It
with
works out.
boobs. I think we're
Oh
gonna
my
wrap
God,
this up
dude.
right here
That
too.
is
So
awesome.
thanks, and hope you guys enjoyed
I
Spin
thought,
Up
I'll go
2020.
meet the guys
We'll see you next
over here.
year.
It'd be fun to see.
They'll never know what my real middle name is.
It's probably like Melvin or
It
something.
won't tell us.
No, it's
Sorry,
actually
Mel.
nothing like that.
So,
Hey everyone. Yeah, I just thought that I'd roll a short little video clip just to kill some time for more people to show up here in the chat. We got 17 of us, a lot of the regulars over here. We've got Ryder Obvious, who was up here at Spin Down, Sunrise Water Media, Agent K is in the room, John Dean. Doc is, of course, with us in the chat. Chris Hope, I see Chris, I see Art Co, I see Dog Flighter 2020. Did I say Joe yet? I don't know. Coast to Coast Drones, Bill's with us. And let's see, did I miss anyone? Is that everybody? Is that everybody talking in the chat, or some other people popped up since then? Remember to make sure you put the @ symbol in my name if you're going to be asking a question for me, so I can locate it a little bit easier and pop it up on the screen, just like this. See, there's Art saying hi to Jake. We want to be able to share that kind of stuff. Hopefully my audio is in sync. I messed with it yesterday. Maybe I should probably open that program to make sure it is. So hopefully that is in sync. If you guys notice in the chat, if it is not, let me know. Hopefully I don't sound like a bad Kung Fu movie tonight. All right. Joe is in the chat. Jake is in the chat. Hello, Jake. Weekend Hack is in the chat. All right. And am I missing anything? And I'm missing anything. All right. So tonight I want to talk a lot about FPV drones. And I only know so much. I've been sort of deep diving into them, doing a lot of research on my own. I am not the kind of guy that likes to build FPV drones. So if you've been considering about getting into them, and then you see, well, you got to learn how to solder and build it. I can do all that stuff. I used to build RC cars from the ground up. I used to work at Compact Computers, soldering little microchips onto motherboards. I used to make my own tattoo needles for 20 years, where you got to solder tiny little needles all together. So that's not the problem. The problem is I'm over it. I've soldered so much stuff over the last 30 years. I don't want to ever touch a soldering gun again. If I can, I have a soldering iron if I can help it. So, yeah. So I thought I would share my perspective and get a couple of guys in here tonight that have the opposite perspective of me. They like to build things. They like the going into the computer software and tweaking everything and doing all that. I just want to fly it. If I break it, I'll just buy a new one. Not really. They're easy to fix. They're not that hard. The soldering and all that kind of stuff isn't actually that hard. It's easier than you would think. I just hate it. All right, so how are we going to start this out? I thought I could tell you guys how I got sort of into the FPV bug that I'm now all of a sudden having. And I thought I could share my story of how that sort of came to be. And that would be Kelly Shore's fault, who is the Ready Set Drone channel. I'm sure some of you guys, or all of you guys, know who he is. And it's his fault. It's completely Kelly's fault. So let me tell you the backstory, and then I'll go to the chat and take some questions, and then we'll pop in some guests. We got a couple of guests that are going to join us tonight. So, and I'm excited about it because these guys know a hell of a lot more about FPV than I do. So I'm going to be picking their brains. I'm going to be pushing them towards a beginner's kind of viewpoint, as well as a beginner that doesn't want to build shit. All right, not that I won't ever, but for now, that's the viewpoint I'm going with. So let me get to the backstory. I go up to Spin Up. Some of you guys probably caught that over there at Kelly's and on Ready Set Drone. And we're doing our thing. We're doing whatever. And Kelly, we went out after the event, and Kelly had a little drone with him with the DJI goggles. If you're familiar with those, the FPV versions, not the white or the black racing goggles that they have. And I told him no, I really didn't want to fly it. I have a thing against the whole staticky breakup of the FPV stuff from all the way back to Fat Sharks. Never liked them 7 years ago. They're better now. I'm finding that out quickly. They are definitely better now than they were 7 years ago. But what's really better is the digital stuff. The digital signal is crystal clear. It breaks up differently. It just sort of breaks up and goes black all at once. Where the analog stuff sort of static, like an old VCR that's all crappy and your tape is all messed up and it's like and it skips around as it goes out. So it's a completely different kind of vibe on FPV digital and analog. So back to the story. Kelly has the digital, and so he has me sit down, tells me, "Hey, if you break it, whatever." He didn't care, so I was like, "Wow, whatever. I'll give it a go." And this is that experience. I did 3 batteries with Kelly on his drone, and on those 3 batteries, let me make that full screen. Good. Okay, and on those 3 batteries, the first one just watch, and then I'll tell you about it.
Met up with Brad and Kelly, and they're going to teach me a little bit of FPV droning.
If you crash on the field, the gate is on the other side. You have to walk all the way around to get it. So this is the GEP-RC Rocket Light.
And
that was because most people didn't want to hear those details.
What he just was talking about. It's a drone with a camera on it.
What do you think?
It's clicking, and it's absolutely a blast. I didn't think I'd learn this quickly. Going back and forth along this fence, once it clicked, it just makes sense now.
We all know that song.
Ready, set, drone, ready, set, drone. Spin up your props and plug in your phone. Fly with us and we think you'll agree.
All right, so what you saw there is Kelly had me go out, and first it was just trying to level, because on the throttle or the up and the down, your left stick for most of us, I was all over the place. Like, I'm up, I'm down, I'm up, I'm down. And that's the same thing. If you guys remember from Spin Down a year ago, Doc actually had me out in the field and tried that with no goggles. And I was able to hover it around, but with no goggles, it's actually harder than it is probably with goggles. Maybe. Sort of. That makes no sense, but I swear it sort of is. Anyways, without the goggles, I almost killed someone in a wheelchair. It was pretty bad news. Although I did okay. I was able to hover it for the most part. It's just whenever I tried to fly it, it just didn't click. The first flight with Kelly, 1 battery, up and down, just dealing with that. The second flight, he had me just follow that fence back and forth. Third flight, I'm actually out in the field trying to go around the football field goalpost, and it started to click. The next day, we actually went to my father's house, and he had me fly another one. I almost passed again, and he pushed it again on me. And I'm not complaining. I'm glad he did. However, that time I actually went through trees and stuff. Now, this is all in what's called angle mode, and I am doing a video that's going to really show you guys the difference. I hope to have it up tomorrow. My day off, I sat in this chair all day editing this video on my day off. I was supposed to work on my car, did not. Trying to make this video. Hopefully, those of you who are interested in learning this will check out this video when it goes up either tomorrow or, worst case scenario, hopefully Wednesday. It's goes over everything in a lot more detail than what hopefully we'll be able to tonight. But from that point, Kelly then came to Spin Down and gave me, well, it's over there. It's the Tiny Hawk S, and it's a little step, I think, above the Tiny Hawk 2, if I'm not mistaken. And it's been a lot of fun. So I went out today. Well, actually, I went out yesterday, and it was like 25-mile-per-hour gust, and the thing couldn't fly in the wind worth a crap in those. And that's all in the video that I made today, because I went out and flew it again this morning when there was no winds, and I actually switched from angle mode to horizon mode and to acro mode. And if you guys don't know what that is in the chat, please just say so, and I'll go into more detail. Some of you do, obviously, and others don't. And if you don't, let me know, and I'll explain it, because it was all new to me. Like, I had no idea what was the difference between those 3 things, and it's all clicked, and it makes sense now. Anyways, so that's what I was doing today. That's where I'm at. I'm flying one of these little kits that you can see in the description of this video, and as well as pinned to the top of the chat. That's one of the little beginner kits. Comes with goggles, comes with a similar drone to the exact same one I'm flying right now to learn, and the same controller I'm using. And it's under $200, and it's an all-in-one binded kit, and it's pretty good. It's got the motors are brushless, which is dope. So there's no maintenance for you to do to them. And everything seems to work right out of the box. So I'm pretty stoked with it. Hopefully you guys, if you are interested, you check that out. Obviously use my link, but you don't have to. But if you want to, I'm not going to complain. I think I have talked long enough. Let's bring in, we have one guest sitting here in the stream right now. So let's bring Doc Murdoch into the chat, and we'll start talking a little bit more. And Dogfighter, I will explain those modes before Doc and I start talking too much.
Hey,
Hey, Doc, how's it going?
I am ready for tonight.
All right, man. I thought you'd like this subject matter.
Oh, yeah. You would be surprised if I could turn the camera and show you what's to my left.
Probably just a crap load of FPV drones, huh?
Oh, dude, it's a disaster area over here. But no, all my drones are actually right above me. So
let me go through here. Where does it explain the modes? I'm gonna, before we get into talking, I'm gonna explain the modes from what I've learned, and it's in the video that I'm gonna release tomorrow or Wednesday. I don't know if I'll have time tomorrow to finish it, but it ended up taking me a lot longer to film and edit, because trying to match up the video from the FPV flight to 2 other cameras was a pain in the ass, because there was no noise. This little tiny Hawk, or the goggles don't seem to have a mic on them.
No,
Metro
they don't.
Drones, hey, happy to you too, man.
Hey,
that's awesome. $10
howdy, Bill.
hat from Metro Drones. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. God, he went crazy over it of the spin up, man.
Yes,
he was going crazy to spin up, man. It was amazing. All right, so back to let me find that and I'll highlight it so everyone knows what I'm talking about. Like, if I missed a question, just repeat it a couple times, guys, because sometimes I will miss that.
The chat gets busy, we will miss it.
Yeah. Now, we don't miss the super chats because they're big and bold and bright. But and that's also why I tell you to tag me, because I have a second chat up where I can sort of look at the corner of my eye and try to look for orange tags. That's how I found this one. So let me grab my little mini drone here, and I'll use that as an example. All right. Let's see here. So this, I thought this was a Tiny Hawk 2. Turns out this is a Tiny Hawk S. Okay, right. So you have a regular Tiny Hawk or some other version?
No, this one here is a Beta FPV 75 Pro.
Okay, so which one came first, the Tiny Hawks or that?
Good question. I'd have to actually go look that up.
Because the Tiny Hawk is a brand name.
Yes, I actually won this from one of the other channels. And I actually had to go buy a Tyrannus radio to connect with it, because I didn't have any radio to connect to it.
Stuff. Okay.
Well, no, it's just on FR Sky, and I didn't have any FR Sky stuff at the time.
All right, so I'm gonna show you if I can get one of these to pop out.
And let me know if my audio's in sync. So
yeah, it seems to be. How's mine?
Okay, yeah, yours is good, at least on my end.
Man, I spent almost all day yesterday.
I know. That worked great last night, let me tell you.
Yeah, hopefully it does today too. So this is the Tiny Hawk S. It's I guess a step above the Tiny Hawk 2, which is what I have linked in the chat at the top, as well as in the comments below in this video if you're watching this on the replay. It's sort of a tank. I have beat this thing up like you would believe. I've run into poles. I've flipped upside down on rocks. I've crashed into a pavilion. I'll show you my crash reel in just a minute. Anyways, to get to the different modes, we have angle, horizon, and acro, right? So angle mode basically means it prevents it from going too angled. So if you push full forward on the stick, it's only going to let you angle it like this. Same with the side, the back, everything like that.
Well, actually, it'll let you angle to the angle that you set it to. Okay,
well, mine's set to not go more than like so.
Right. You can actually lower it to where it's very shallow.
Okay, you're getting ahead of everyone, Doc. These are people who don't want to set it up. They don't want to plug it into the computer. Right out of the box, it's going to be angled about like here. All right. Now you can get into beta flight, and that's a program that you can hook a little wire up to your thing, and you can change those parameters. But don't worry about that. You don't have to do that shit. It works out of the box. All right. So angle's about here. It won't flip. When you let go of the stick, it levels back out.
That's right.
Okay. So now horizon mode, similar but different. Horizon mode, when you let go of the sticks, will still level back out. Even if you do a flip and you let go, it levels back out. Found that out today. The difference is from angle mode to horizon mode, it doesn't limit your angle anymore. So you can actually flip, do side flips, and have super wide banks like that. Though it does limit the responsiveness, which I assume, again, once you get more into it, you could get into beta flight and change that again. However, it prevents you from being able to flip quite as fast. I found that out today, too.
That's correct.
Whenever I rolled, the flip was a little slower in horizon mode, which made it fall to the ground, because once you flip, it's now getting the air pushed this way to the ground before it comes back around. So that is horizon mode. Now, acro mode, I assume, stands for acrobatic mode. Just makes sense, right?
Acro basically is it takes all the limits off.
Yeah,
so
but,
whichever
the abbreviation is for acrobatic.
Right, but basically what it does is whatever position you tilt it to, it will stay there.
So what he means, dog fighter, is if you move your joystick this way and you let go, and you've moved it so it angles to this amount, and it starts going like this, and you let go, it won't do this anymore. It'll stay like this until you move the joystick back the other way till you level it out, and then you have to center it real quick once you get it centered. So you're constantly sort of wiggling it back and forth to wherever you want it, forwards, backwards, like that. And if you push it hard, it just instantly will flip around until it keeps going all the way down to the ground, unless you correct it and level it back out. You can't just let go of the stick and have it snap back to that centered point. So that's the difference between the 3 modes. Hopefully that answers your question. And I found that out by flying. Like I was like, what's this one do? And I'm like, I can't tell the difference. And then, whoa, it flipped and crashed. And speaking of crashes, let me share some of my crashes with you. Yeah,
crash reels are the best.
So this is, let me brief you a little bit on this. Uh-oh, did I screw up? Hold on. Okay, so my house is small, and I have 2 little tiny dogs that live in my house. Now, they're not going to be in this video, but in the video tomorrow or the next day, they're in that, and they're biting at the drone and everything. I showed a clip of that earlier, but yesterday when I was practicing and getting this set up, let me hide that, and we'll move that there so I know where I was at. So this is actually when I went out yesterday with those 25-mile-per-hour gusts trying to fly this thing, and this is the results I got flying. I wanted to fly, man. I wanted to fly. So
I can just imagine.
This is what I got, and it's just all smushed together real quick. So hopefully, is it showing? Let's see. Yeah, it is. All right, we'll leave our faces there so everyone can see you laughing at me.
Oh yes, those are the best. That's awesome, Sean. That can sometimes be some of the most fun.
I was trying.
Yep. Surprisingly, it's video and flights like that make you a better pilot because it makes you struggle to stay in control of it. Then when you fly in better conditions, it's like, oh wow, this is easy.
Oh my God. And you'll see, I've got some other clips to share of today's flight with no winds, and it's night and day difference.
Yeah.
Real quick, thank you, Dog Flighter, for the $4.99 super chat. Super appreciate that. Everything helps out the channel, helps me out to continue buying stuff for this channel. I try my best to separate my daytime job funds from this. I don't do so well at that very much. I use my daytime fun jobs to buy stuff for YouTube all the time. But it would be nice if I could separate them one day, and that kind of stuff does help. All right, let me quickly. Sam Burns says your audio is good, Doc.
Yep. That's good.
Totally off topic. The Jeopardy countdown ever work for your little one? I use the Jeopardy. It's one of my most viewed videos. It's a 2-minute timer that's got the Jeopardy music, or a version of the Jeopardy music that's a little off from the real version. That's I made for my kid to use as a toothbrush timer, so she would brush for 2 minutes.
Oh, nice.
And she used it for like 2 weeks, and then it just sat on YouTube, and now it's got like almost 1 million views on it. It's crazy.
That's nice.
I get all the comments on it are kids like in probably elementary. My teacher uses this as a timer in class, and I think that's just awesome. It almost makes me, Doc, want to make another channel. Just call it the 2-minute timer channel. You know?
Oh yeah, there's crazy stuff out there.
All right, so I said we answered that question about what is angle mode. What else did we miss in here? I'm just scanning through the chat. Everybody's saying hello, and I love that. That everyone's talking to each other. I think that's awesome. Drone simulator. Okay, I have never used the drone simulator. So these flights that you see, which aren't impressive so far, I've never touched anything besides those couple of flights I just did on Kelly's at Ready Set Drone. So just keep that in mind, everyone.
And bear in mind, Sean has flight experience prior to flying drones.
You're talking about airplanes.
That's right. He flies fixed wing, and fixed wings are similar, but they are a little different.
I noticed
at least it gives you the idea of how things move, but just they move slightly differently with these.
Yeah, I'm still trying to make that conversion because guess what? I went from angle mode to horizon mode all the way to Acro mode today.
Yep.
1, 2, 3 batteries or 4 batteries, and I decided to go for it.
Yep.
And the full video, you'll have to watch it, Doc, when I get it out and done.
Oh, yeah, I will.
I don't have. There's a scene where I'm just jumping up and down like a little kid. I'm so excited because it was so much fun.
Yep. They are.
All right, so hopefully John will join us here. Let me play one of these videos here that I got put together just for this, and maybe John will join us in the meantime while let me just figure out which one's which. If you want to talk to anybody about anything, go right ahead while I figure out. I got them in the wrong order.
Well, right or obvious, he's waiting to hear about all of the cool stuff that can be modified and everything. So
is he?
we'll maybe get to that towards the end, once we get through some of the more basic stuff.
Yeah. All right. So this screen I'm going to share is angle mode. Okay. Like I just explained to everybody, that was the one. This has got limits so that you can only go so far with it. Let me make sure this is all set up right. Okay. Everybody can see it. Great. And this is angle mode. Here we go. Woo. Let's see if we can go through here. Whoa. Whoa. That was okay. That was cool. I wasn't expecting to actually be able to do that. There's some swings over here. I can't believe it's actually not breaking up. This far, we're going to go right between the chains. Oh, that is so cool. Whoa. Okay, let's go under this. All right, there's short flights. I'm not sharing because I don't want to. I'm teasing the video. I don't want to share everything. You got to come back and watch the full video.
The nice part about angle mode is it limits your over control of the copter, and that's the best part about angle mode. You can get it to go, but it won't let you go too far. So even if you come up on something that startles you and you try to correct for it. And normally in Acro mode, you'd overcorrect and end up hitting something else or just stuffing it in the dirt. It will only let you bank so far and it'll move away. And, most of the time you won't run into anything. So that's the advantage of angle mode.
Now, and saying that, I would answer right or obvious question. He asked, is it best to just start in Acro mode the way there's no confusion? And my answer as a newbie, no, do not. Because when you do that, I did put it in Acro mode at my tattoo studio, and within 10 seconds I was packing it back in the bag going, this is stupid, why'd Kelly give me this? Right. So angle mode is going to be a lot more similar to what you're used to with DJI type drones and things like that.
That's right.
Although it won't hold its position. If the wind blows, it's gone.
That's right.
If you let go of the stick, it drops. Okay. So it's similar yet not similar.
I think that's actually a good comparison to angle mode for the camera drones. That is how camera drones function. They are in an angle mode, and they have, all the sensors to be able to stabilize it and hold position, where these little guys don't, but they have the control style of angle mode.
Yeah. Now, Sam Burns says he just jumped into it, but I got a question for you, Sam. Did you just take a drone and go right into it, or did you do a simulator and jump into it? Because there's a big difference, especially if it's windy. So you answer that when you hear this, because there's like a 10-second delay before you guys see it. Art, always leave it to Art. What about ankle mode?
That happens all the time in the house.
That's funny. Yeah. I actually hit myself in the shoulder in the house, but these things aren't going to hurt anybody. Like the worst case scenario, you could get it caught in someone's hair. But
I will say this. Yeah, there you go. I'll say this though. I have gotten this caught in a couple of the grandkids' hairs, but more so, I have a little mini pin. That doggone dog has jumped off the back of the couch, leapt into the air, and grabbed this thing mid-flight out of the air and took it back to mama. Yeah, more than once. Yeah. So that kind of gives you another good idea how tough they are.
I gotta go ahead and disagree with Sam again. He says other modes will give you bad habits, but guess what, Sam? You didn't start in other modes.
That's right.
So you don't know that. Somebody told you that. Everybody's different.
Sam, I'll give you a good example. If you take a camera drone pilot and try to get him to fly acro mode, he'll hate it. But if you put him in with angle mode to start and get the feel of it, they'll be able to transition to acro mode easier.
Well, and check this out. And here's a point that I figured out today. I'm going to probably go ahead and continue to learn acro mode just because that's who I am. I like to complete things. However, I have a good feeling that when I'm out flying out here, I'm going to put in angle mode 90% of the time to get the shots that I actually want. I could give two shits about getting a shot with a flip in it or doing a front flip or barrel roll or whatever. I want these smooth shots that are just like panning and going like this through like rivers and things like that. That's all I care about. That's the whole reason I'm getting this. I'm sure in time I'll get good enough with just probably acro mode to achieve that, but it will give me the chance at overcorrecting in the middle of like a river or in the middle of the mountains, and there's no way I'm getting it back up here.
That's right.
Like, not where I live. For me, I think if I can get the flight smooth with angle to have this kind of look, which is almost like a fixed wing look, right? That's what I'm after. I actually found a long range FPV drone, which I'm going to share this with you today, Doc. I think you might actually enjoy that. It can go 30 minutes or so on one battery.
Okay. That'll be good.
Ronnie B says, are you learning to fly FPV to pay back Ed for what he did to you and Ken a year ago in the parking garage? I just spent it last year. Ronnie, I was totally cool with that. That was Ken going, not me. Not me. I didn't do that. I also didn't jump from the bat or any of the other. So that wasn't me.
Nice.
Time on the simulator, I don't see anything wrong with that. If you want to do a simulator, go for it. But
I will say something about simulators.
Okay, yes, you go for that.
If you're not sure whether you want to try it or not, I think a simulator is a good spot to try it.
Yeah. But
to actually train, you can only get so much out of it, because no matter how good the simulator is, and and all of the programming they do in those things, they're still not quite exactly the same as the real thing, but they're close. And it's close enough.
I was going to say, and look right there, you see on the screen, Sam says he did one flight in acro mode and it was a mess. And then he went to a simulator. So you cannot say that, Sam, because you do not know, because you went to a simulator. If you're going straight to one of these and you fly drones and you're comfortable and you understand the whole concept, angle mode rocks. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun in angle mode. I think somebody might put that in your head, that maybe they're good, and so they put that in your head, make you feel bad about yourself if you're in angle mode. You know what I tell them?
Angle mode is really good. Angle mode is great for copters around this size, maybe just a little bit bigger. But once you get past that size, like into a 3 or a 4 inch, then angle mode's not so much. It's easier to fly it in acro mode, because it has more power, more weight. It just handles better. Because
give me a month or so. Give me a month or so, and I'll come back and let you know if I feel that same way.
Yeah.
And just so you know, Sam, the FU wasn't to you. That was to anyone who would make anyone feel less for using angle mode and taking stepping stones if they didn't go to the simulator, or if someone's giving you crap about going to a simulator. Nobody should be giving anybody crap for doing anything trying to get into this hobby whatsoever.
Yeah, each person's different. Ways. Yeah, each person's different in how they interpret it and how they process it. Like for me, okay, most of the guys out there know I'm older, but maybe don't know how old. Okay, I've been flying RC aircraft since 1976. Okay, I've been flying RC helicopters since '77, and those are all nitro, no electrics. No flight controllers, no gyros, no nothing. You learned how to fly them, okay? And when I got in, the first time I got to fly FPV, and they didn't even call it FPV back then, it was just fly by video. It was 1986, and it was with a black and white camera that was, the camera was as big as this battery, and the lens stuck out about that far. And it was hand-built. You couldn't just go buy it off the shelf. You know,
Yeah.
everything was just handmade for it.
Well, that's how you saw the wing I had, the battery that slipped in there. We soldered those together ourselves.
Absolutely.
You didn't shrink wrap them all. You couldn't buy
There's
anything,
just nothing you could go really buy that would fit it. You had to make stuff to fit it.
Well, that, and that's just how it was done. You bought the individual batteries from the hobby store, and you bought these little tin pieces that were already pre-cut, or you could cut your own.
Yep.
And then you soldered them together, cleaned all the solder off, because if you don't clean the flux off of the solder, then it corrodes and it makes a mess and blah blah. Ryder Obvious says, "Do drones sink in rivers as fast as GoPros?" Asking for a friend.
Faster.
No. I don't know.
The reason why faster is because not only do they have a GoPro on it, they got a battery on it, and they got motors on it, and all that extra weight, man.
But it depends on the drone. Some of the drones have little air pockets in them and stuff. The GoPro just straight up like a rock. Straight up like a rock. I'd say either one, you're pretty much screwed.
I tell you what, if the drone that carries this battery hits the water, that thing's sinking like a lovesick submarine to the bottom. You know, I mean, that's just
what I need is to get one of those wings set up with like a 3 or 4S battery, but with like a really big milliamp to it, so that it can last forever.
Lithium ion.
Yeah, that too.
You just use lithium-ion batteries.
I just don't want it to explode. And speaking of exploding, when John gets in here, John, are you coming? Are you going to join us? I sent you a link on the Facebook. Did you find it? Anyways, he's got a story to share today that I myself have become complacent to not doing this with anything I charge. So I don't want to ruin it. I'll wait for him to show up. But Lloyd is in the chat. He says he has bad habits and he doesn't fly in any mode.
Oh goodness!
Let me quickly go through and catch up on the chat. What controller can you use? Oh, I just saw a question for you. Where did it go?
The controller one is a good one. I actually have stuff set up here to show. Who asked that? Who was it? Ryder Obvious. Okay. There's a number of different controllers out there, different brands, different not different modes, but different protocols. All right. But most of them have a micro USB or some other way of getting to a micro USB to plug into the computer so that the computer can recognize it as a joystick. Okay. The 3 that I have right now that will do it are the Tyrannus. This one's the X9D Plus. So, and on the back, it's got a plug. I don't know if you can see it real well. Right. Got to put the finger right. Goes right about there, okay? Then I also have, now mind you, the Tyrannus will do different modules in the back so you can run all the different protocols. Then I have the Turnigy Evolution radio. This is a FlySky radio, and it only does FlySky. But it's a nice little radio. These things are $50, but yet it has a plug-in right on the side here, which is a charge, and the plug-in to set it up as a joystick in the flight sims. So for $50, you could buy one of these. In, John. Yeah, come on in, John. For $50, you could buy one of these, plug it into your computer, whether it's a Mac or whether it's a PC, doesn't matter, and pick your simulator and go fly. The other one that I have. Hey, John.
Hold on, Doc. John is in the room with us, and when Doc is done, I really want John to share this story of what happened to him today with his FPV drone. He's got some pictures. You should be able to share those right from your screen, John. So let Doc finish talking about the controllers, and I want to jump onto that.
All right. The third controller I got is this one. This is, I got to remember the exact name of it because I always get it wrong. This is the FSI6X. It's FlySky again. But it does take a different way to plug in. It takes a special plug that you got to buy from FlySky to get it to register as a joystick in the flight sims. But again, these are like $50, and I think the cable's like $6 or $8, something like that. I didn't even look at it because I got the other one. But these things are cheap, and if you want to do the flight sims, one of these controllers, especially the Evolution one, is a very nice controller. It actually has a real nice feel to it. And when you get ready, you can actually set your stuff up in FlySky and actually fly quads with it. But you're limited to that particular protocol, as opposed to like a Tyrannus or the newer Radio Masters or the Jumper radios where they have multi-protocol modules and the capability of doing all the other stuff. So, but that would just be a choice you'd make at that point. So, all right, John, you're up. Show us the videos.
Oh man! Well, first of all, Sean, thanks for having me. Doc's good to meet you. It's good to, Sean. It's great that you're getting into FPV, man. I love it. Hopefully, though,
everybody's been pushing me for so long, man.
John, have you seen his flight back from last spin up? If you haven't, you got to go watch it.
Oh, I definitely have to go watch it then. Yeah,
it was intense.
Mine?
Yeah.
When it went into the fence.
I actually did better than Ken did that day.
Oh yes, absolutely you did.
Take out the minus the crash.
Yeah.
So, and this being like the next two videos, all these videos I'm showing you guys of me with the tiny whoop today, this is like my first time going out flying on my own ever.
Yep.
So I want you guys to like judge me and tell me, am
You're doing great. I mean, I'm
behind schedule or on schedule or ahead of schedule?
No, you're actually much faster than most.
Yeah, but I agree. Even just from seeing your Tiny Hawk flights too. Even though you look your Tiny Hawk flights, you didn't do yourself justice there because you had so much wind. And I got to tell you, the Tiny Hawks, they just don't do that well in the wind. And even when you crash into anything with this thing, it falls. It's so heavy. Doc knows what I'm talking about. This thing, it's so heavy built, but.
Really?
It's going to be really hard to kill it. You said you crashed the crap out of it.
Oh, yes, I did.
It's made to crash the crap out of it. But it's not made to be a super acro beast. It's just not. All right. So, you want to see the
yes. Before we get into that, I just want to share one thing real quick. Hold on a second. Is this a good controller or is this a shitty controller?
That is 100
because it's blue.
You can actually get them cheaper than that, but that's a very good controller.
Okay, it's blue. I like that.
Yeah.
See, the people like myself who don't really care about like all the technical stuff in the background, we're choosing it because
I've got a huge complaint about that controller. I used to love Free Sky. I'm gonna have to go on a Free Sky rant after this because there's a huge problem with that controller there. But okay.
It's only a minor problem if you know how to fix it.
I don't know.
Well, first of all, that's an access radio. Okay, that's an access radio.
Oh, is that an access one?
Mm-hmm. That's an access radio.
You don't want the access. You want the older version.
You got to find an older version.
Correct.
And then if you can find an even older version, that would be great in case you decide you want to go crossfire, so you don't have to do the crazy Free Sky hack stuff. I just don't see buying Free Sky anymore when there's stuff like the Radio Master and Radio King now. Doc, do you have any of those? The Radio Master?
I do not yet. I am because my Tyrannus that I have, I purchased it secondhand. So I don't know how old it is without going back and looking at the serial number. But it has been good to me for the last 2 years. But when it's time, I plan on buying the Radio Master TX16S. That's the one I'm going to get because everything it does better than the Tyrannus. And not by a lot, but enough.
Same here.
This controller? Is that the one Kelly has that's like a video game controller that I liked so much, Doc? Do you know?
I don't know. I didn't see his controller. I didn't look at it real close. I don't believe it is.
Okay. It's something like that. I know it was red.
I do like the Free Sky controllers, but I just don't like the R9. That's the only reason why I didn't end up buying one. Don't like the R9.
I got plenty of that.
Okay, you guys have lost me already. I don't know what an R9 is.
Okay. Remember I said that these newer radios have the multi-protocol module built into it, right?
Thank you, Sam. The what module?
Multi-protocol. Now, what that does is it allows you to connect to FR Sky, Fly Sky, and any of the little tiny toy grade modes.
That's like the old RC cars whenever the JR radios first came with the...
These are JR modules, yes.
And this is a JR mold, if you...
Yes.
Those who know this radio, this is a JR mold.
Yep.
So.
Well, hold that thought, guys. I got to run in the other room and grab you something, a little flashback here.
Oh, I could scare you with some of the stuff I could flashback to. John, you're not old enough to know, but see, when I was flying in the 70s, we had basically 4 radios that everybody flew. And you had from Radio Shack, you had the hobby, oh goodness, I can't even remember the name of it now. I'd have to go look it up again. But it was the Hobby Shack version. Okay, and it was just a plain box with sticks, and it was 4 and 6 channels. Then you had Kraft, and then you had Futaba, and then you had later you had Heathkit, you had Airtronics, JR, all of them. I mean, there was just all of them out there. Yeah, there you go. Is that an Airtronics?
That was a hell of a controller. That is a hell of a
controller.
KO Pro Pro. KO Pro. This was one hell. It's barely. It's like.
But who makes it?
KO Pro.
It's just a KO Pro.
That's really interesting.
Like high end X10 Helios. Yeah, so it's got a module in the back. These are crystals. So this is channel 4.
Crystals,
and then they ended up making, so some of you guys in the chat might not know what crystals are.
Yeah, I know what crystals are.
I've heard of them. I've watched RC Model Reviews video on old receivers and whatnot. And
I had radios in it that had crystals the size of the SD card, you know?
Can't believe people have ever had to deal with that. So, I mean, people have no idea how blessed we are.
There you go.
See? And so in AM, I think if I recall, there was only 6 channels.
AM, that's what you guys used to use.
Well,
any of the ground frequencies typically were AM and FM, mostly AM, and they were usually on lower frequencies down in the 27 megahertz band.
So most of the people in the RC cars were the FMs. I went with AM because they're stronger signals than the FM back then, and less people had them because so many people ran FM. But you had 1 through 6, so you'd have to have a board and put your little clip on before you go race your car. And so you didn't have the same channel on as somebody else. And if someone turned on their remote in the pits, there was some fighting going on.
Yeah, wait till you get aircraft and helicopters in the air and do that.
Well, I did nitro planes before I did this.
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep this. I don't think I could sell it and get any money for it now. Maybe it's a classic. I don't know.
Here's the cool part is that it's still legal to use.
But I don't think I have any receivers.
I wonder if this would probably find them.
You could just make this with a wheel, set it up to work with the combat gliders. All right. Anyways, John, have you started sharing?
Oh yeah. I think I
made me feel old, John. You made me feel old today.
That crystal stuff is just something from another world to me. We really are lucky to have what we have.
It was
today.
only like 15 or 20 years ago that Crystal switched over to the modulars. What do they call it? It was a
phase lock loop with them. They use a phase lock loop system.
There was a company that came out with a modular that started working in all the controllers. Because when they first came out, it wasn't a controller with any of this 2.4 gigahertz bullshit in it. It was a modular that you would take out, John, and you'd take out this one, pop it in there, put in a different receiver thing in your car, and poof. Anyone could turn on the controller at any time, and it would only locate that.
Right.
Which is what we're seeing in all the DJI stuff and everything else now.
That's right.
Oh, alrighty. I've got my screen share.
All right. Let's see. Let me share.
Here it comes.
See if it works. Oh. That was today.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that is a tough one.
Ouch.
So explain to people that might be looking at that going, what are you taking a picture of your trash for, John?
All right. So that is what we call a parallel charge board, where you can plug in multiple FPV drone batteries to it and charge them all in parallel. Really, really handy. Something happened. Now, look, the first thing I want to say is it's my fault that it got to this point because even though I was home, even though I was keeping my eye on it periodically, all it takes is 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and that's it. It goes up in flames. So, I mean, toward the end of today's charge, this must have happened because I was checking it. I was in and out. I made a cup of coffee. Went out to see if it was done, and I was met with a whole bunch of fire at my desk. I mean,
my goodness!
This is my bench. This was the carnage.
That's crazy.
I'm really lucky because what
Mhm.
you see here, that's more or less the summation of the damage here. I mean, the mats are gone.
Well, no, was that the battery that completely went up too, or was it just the parallel board that did that?
See, I wish I knew what
Well, I mean, the
happened.
actual burning. What did the batteries actually catch on fire, or did just the parallel board?
Oh, the batteries caught on fire too.
They did. Okay.
All of it went on fire. All of it went on fire. But I don't know what started it. I don't know if the board caught fire. I don't know if one of the batteries caught fire. It's really hard because look at that. That's what I found it in. That was the condition I found it in. And pretty much I just yanked it from the charger, threw it out. The garage door was open. Really lucky.
Wow.
Threw it in the driveway and let it burn out.
Okay, so it was still on fire when you walked in.
Yeah, it was still on fire when I walked in. Yeah, I literally walked into a fire. Not a huge fire.
John,
but
you didn't break your camera out and take pictures of it before you put it out?
Oh, yeah, that's the YouTube thing to do, right?
Yeah, gotta get that selfie shot out with it, right?
Yeah, you got my house is burning down.
Now, just for the chat, so they understand, because a lot of the camera drone guys don't do this with parallel boards. This is what a parallel board typically looks like. This isn't the exact same one that John has, but it does the same thing. So you have multiple spots for your balance leads, and then the main plugs for your battery leads, and then the power comes in on this one. This is the main balance lead that connects to the charger, and then this one connects to the charger. So, and then this one is actually set up to be able to connect multiple parallel boards. Not all of them do that. This particular one does. But that's what a parallel board looks like. That's not charbroiled.
Yeah, Sam Burns is asking me what charger was I using. So I was using an
That's actually a good question.
I was using an ISDT T8, and it's funny you should ask that because I've been parallel charging for a pretty long time now with that charger. I actually checked my cycle count on that charger because it keeps a record of how many complete charge cycles you make. It doesn't, differentiate between parallel charge or not, but this charger, because it's 1,000 watts, 30 amps, this was my dedicated parallel charge system. So you could probably even figure at least half of those charges. I had 468 total charge, full charge cycles on that thing. 468.
That's a lot.
It is a lot, and it's been fine. This has never happened. This is with some new China Hobby Line batteries that I bought in July. They really didn't get that much use until recently. I honestly think one of them went up, and one of the cells must have just gone bad on them, and I was just unlucky. I really can't find any fault with the charger at the moment. I've actually discharged and charged some batteries on that charger, and I've checked the cell voltage against a multimeter, against a few other things. Nothing's getting overcharged. So I think this was just one of those fluke incidents where
this is
got a bad cell.
Typically, when that kind of does happen, those chargers, they have software in them that if they sense something like that, they shut down.
And it did. It shut itself down.
That's right.
You and I have talked a little bit about this on Twitter, Doc, and I'm so RC car guy, that I'm still stuck on wanting to use the old RC. Well, they're not old; they still make them now too. 4 at one time, and you can charge pretty much anything. Do you have one of those too? One of those guys that I like.
Not the old ones. The last one I had years ago was a Tekin. And
I'll find a picture. But this is what we have now. This is what I'm using for my tiny whoop. I do too.
Correct.
And I assume this is sort of what you're a smaller version of probably what John had that exploded with the battery.
Yeah. The one that I have for the small batteries, like for my tiny, for my beta, I use little 300 milliamp batteries, but that's the charge board I use for that.
Yeah.
And then you just plug six of them in and away it goes.
I'm gonna try to put this closer to the camera because this is relevant. So this one you can see is like perfectly flat, and if I push it, is it focusing? No. If I push it, it's hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Kelly has told me not to sweat these because they're little batteries.
Nope.
But I'm sweating them like crazy, and I feel like I should throw them out.
Don't.
Poofy, right? Can you see the poof? Come on.
Yep.
Don't what? Don't keep them?
Yeah. Don't sweat it. I had a set of these things that I'd used for a year that got swelled so poofy that,
poofy.
and they flew fine
This one's
until
tight
they
poofy.
wouldn't run. I mean, I literally put the batteries in, take off, and the thing would just fall on the ground. Once it did that, I threw them away.
Look at this though. Look, see the seal? Can you? God, well, focus. Let me put it on manual so I can focus this closer in.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, and focus. Where's the focus ring? All right. So you see the seal is like not popping up on that anywhere.
Right.
Right. The edges are covered and down. This one is so poofy.
Yeah.
That the seal on the edges. You see that?
The only time you want to worry, the only time you want to worry about it is while it's charging.
I worry about this thing exploding while I'm asleep.
Nope, won't do it.
Okay, you're gonna buy me a new house then, Doc? Because
No,
I got
they
the word
won't.
from you that it
There's
will.
I've got a whole box of them in my flight bag that are just like that.
I do too. I have them in a fireproof bag of sorts. Yeah.
Yeah, mine are in my what do you call it? You know, that fireproof thing inside the bag. But yeah,
these poofy ones I put on a porcelain plate when I charge them.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, this is another thing too. Honestly, you don't want to charge that stuff because that's the puff means it's damaged. I mean it's taken on some kind of damage. I mean, I've done it before here and there, charged a little puffy small battery like that, but you generally don't want to do with it.
I mean, this one's super puffy. Like it's puffier than it was yesterday.
Sam Burns was saying in the chat, he was asking, what charger was I using, and that he was also asking if my parallel board was fused. The answer is yes. It was actually one of the best boards you can buy. It was the Joshua Bardwell Strix parallel charge board.
Okay, so it's that one. Okay.
It's got that has excellent fuses. It's also got poly fuses on the balance connect. Really, really good quality board. But the fact is, it's not going to save you if a battery explodes and then goes up in flames, which is definitely what happened there. Probably a fuse popped and the battery exploded and it set everything else on fire.
Yep.
So that was the one thing that I lost in the fire. I had one of my builds a little too close and it torched that propeller. Look at that. I had to replace that tonight. Horrible.
Yeah, and Sam Burns makes a good point. You have to set the charging rate right on these things. Even the little batteries.
There's true. Set on this. It's
my little guy here. Yeah. See, mine is very similar to that. I think mine has. Let me see if I can read it here. Mine has a 0.2 amp and a 0.6 amp setting. So 0.2 amp it's going to charge slower. 0.6 amp it's going to charge faster. Bear in mind, 0.6 amp on a 300 milliamp battery is still only 2C. I charge 2C on all my batteries, even my ones that are 6 amp hour. So I charge 12 amps into that battery as it's charging. But that's only 2C. It's not going to overcharge it. It's not going to overheat it because it's designed to handle that. The little 300 milliamp batteries are the same way. That particular part is scalable, from battery size to battery size.
Hold on. I'm trying to show you guys what with the RC car stuff we used to do. This is one of the newer ones.
So much old stuff.
But this is new. Why is it not sharing right? Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm sharing the wrong stupid window.
Sam Burns asked, if we could share the charging rate thing. All right. Most of your manufacturers say to charge at 1C, which is if you have a 1 amp hour battery, you charge it at 1 amp. That's 1C charge. You can charge up to 3C on most of your higher end batteries that, like my 1500 milliamp batteries are 100C discharge. So to put, 3C into it, it doesn't hurt it a bit. Especially for the longevity of the batteries, the way we use them. I mean, you run these things hard for a year, you're buying new batteries after a year because batteries are just done. Mm-hmm. It's not about trying to get them to last, forever. Right. They're not
that's
going
the same as it was, Doc, when we did the RC cars, because we raced. And so you'd have a limited amount of time between races. So you were in there, you were pushing them to the max at the rate. Your battery was flaming hot by the time you were done charging it.
I actually had old nickel cad batteries that I would stuff inside of an ice cooler with ice in it,
nice,
and I would
nice.
charge it while it was on ice just to get it
Yeah.
to charge more than you could if it wasn't.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm sure some of the guys used to do that. I did not, but this is the newer version of the old charger I used to have.
Yeah, the old high tech.
You can actually do any battery with this thing. You know, like you do need to know your amps and your stuff, and you can't overcharge. It's like this is plug and play, right? Where
kind of, you still have to tell it what type of battery you're charging.
this, I don't. I just plug it in and plug it in.
No, because
The
that
high-tech.
board, the board you
the
have,
high tech you do.
the high tech you
this
do.
was- yeah, this
No,
is plug and play, not the high tech. The high tech is
Correct.
not.
That's correct.
You have to know about your batteries a little bit.
Mhm. That's right. See, like I use an ISDG charger. Also, I have the older SC620.
That's a good one too.
And it is an amazing charger. I don't know why they stopped making it. This, to me, this was just right for the size charger for most FPV pilots, because you can charge up to 6 batteries on a parallel board. It would put the full 20 amps out into the 6 batteries. Your batteries would be charged in about 20 minutes, and you're good to go. It was just the right size. Now to get
that's
something
500 watts. Wow.
That's correct. Now to get something comparable to this, you got to go up to the 30 amp version. And, then it does the same thing, but it's like, look how slim this is.
Oh, okay. You were fooling us whenever you had it the other way.
Yeah,
It looked
see?
huge until you turned it
it's a good
sideways.
That's right. See, this is all it is. I mean,
Yeah.
this thing is a nice little charger.
Let me share with you guys
it's
real
amazing.
quick just two short clips, and then I want to share with you a drone that I was watching a video about today and get your opinions on this. So this is going to be at angle mode. It's a very short clip, but it sort of shows my excitement as it's clicking, And again, if you're getting into it, I don't think there's any problem with angle mode. It's been great to me. Let's cut right by me. Okay, don't hit me. I hit myself in the kitchen the other day. Whoa! Oh, so much fun. Okay, and now we dive
That's
into
awesome.
Acro. Yeah, it's fun. Like there's an excitement there that I haven't had with regular drones in a long time.
Yep.
This is now my first flight. Not the first. It's the first flight, but it's a minute or so into it. I didn't play the whole flight. Again, if you want to see this whole setup and everything of my first go and my experience and sort of my journey into it, because I am doing it in a way that a lot of people that get into FPV don't. I don't care for the build.
Mm-hmm.
I said that earlier. I don't care for the repair, although I'll have to. I just want to be able to fly it, and I don't necessarily care for Acro, although this sort of started to change my mind a little bit. So let me play this.
Yeah.
And you can see. Tell me, this is the first time I've ever flown in Acro mode, besides once, and it just fell to the ground. So let me know what you think. This is without any simulators or anything like that. Making a little more sense. I can't believe that I'm doing this already. Wasn't expecting this. Whoa. Okay. Whoa. Okay. It's so much faster in Acro mode.
Yep.
Let's try it. Oh, okay. Flips are easier in Acro mode. Holy crap.
Uh-huh.
Cool. Okay. Don't go on the roof. Where am I? Oh, crap. I'm so high up. I can't get it pointed. Oh, there we are. Okay. Woo. There you go.
That's awesome, Sean.
That was good, man.
Yeah. All you have to remember in Acro mode is to make it move, you have to pitch it in the direction you want to go.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the key. And then to turn, it's not like an airplane where you roll it and then pull back on the elevator. To turn a quad, you actually have to lead with yaw. Because if you don't, you'll end up turning uncoordinated, and it'll look funny.
So tell me, what's happening in my head is that I'm wanting to yaw, but if I just bank like this, then it doesn't really turn through. So I'm finding myself trying to do sort of, if I'm making a left, it would be a little left yaw, and then I go left
roll.
and up at the same time. So I'm angled. That is correct?
Right. That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was a guess.
So when you're going
guessing
forward, let me turn it this way. So when you're going forward and you want to turn this way, you have to yaw in that direction first and then roll. So that way, this motor acts as your pivot point as you make your turn.
Okay.
And then when you come out, it rolls level. That's how it works.
That's good because that's what I was thinking, but I had no confirmation.
Yep,
and I wasn't
that's how you do
sure
it.
because I didn't do it smoothly, so I didn't know if that was right.
Yeah, you always lead with the yaw first and then roll into it. Then as you do that, the copter is going to want to tend to pitch forward
Yeah,
further.
start diving.
So you have to pull back a little bit to keep it in the right attitude. Then when you roll out, you have to pitch forward to keep it going at the speed you
But then
enter.
you center it, so you get it off the left side and get back to the center.
That's correct.
And when you center it, will it center or will it go over center?
No, you have to roll it back to a horizon level.
So,
Okay.
but if you put the stick in the middle, is that going to put it in horizon level, or are you adjusting it?
No,
until
if
it's
you're in
horizon
Acro
level, then
mode,
you're-
if you're in Acro mode, no, you actually have
Okay.
to reverse it.
So
Now
I do have to go to the other side and then back again.
Just
sort of
a little
like
bit.
I'm going up and down on the throttle to get
Correct.
it to actually hover.
That's right. That's right.
Hopefully that makes sense to you guys in the chat. Have we lost everybody yet? Is everybody like sitting there in the chat going,
No. People are talking. People are talking. Mike Kinney was asking, about a good starter kit, and I really think that Tiny Hawk kit that you've got is great, man.
Yeah, that
I
one.
do too.
Ken Dobo did his video on one today. I mean, for the money, you can't beat it.
Well,
No,
the
you really can't.
Ken's video is his price is similar to the one that I have, and I hate to say from just looking at his video, but I do think mine seems like it's a little bit higher in quality than the.
Well,
other
there's different versions of that Tiny Hawk all through the line.
Well,
So-
I'm saying like apples to apples, like those two, like at the same level. It seems like maybe, and I haven't touched it, so I can't say. But sometimes plastics look a little cheaper on video than what they really are.
Right.
But it looked like that one. The drone itself looked like it was maybe in a little bit of a cheaper plastic. But I can't say. It still looked like either way. I think those are a great way to get in the hobby. It's under $200.
Yep.
And it works right out of the box. You don't have to adjust crap. You just fly.
Yeah, he's got that Beta FPV kit, Doc. That's what he's got. Yeah, which I've had bad luck with Beta FPV. Unfortunately, the Meter 65 for me was junk. I actually returned it, and it was terrible. It was a terrible experience trying to return that. The 75X died. The Beta 85 Pro 2 died. I don't.
Wow.
I just don't get it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong with this beta stuff.
This
but it
one
just
here
dies.
is the 75 Pro. This thing's over a year old, and
You're lucky.
the tar out of this.
I'll tell you
You're
what I
lucky,
didn't
man.
like about that one, guys, is that the battery connections are the proprietary connection instead of just connections that work with all different kinds of stuff. Like with this it reminds me of old RC stuff where your batteries worked with everything, and then DJI came out and the batteries only worked with DJI stuff.
That's
and you
right.
were like, well, that's like when that first happened, you were like, fuck you, trying to make us use your shit and only your shit.
Yep.
So maybe there's a little bit of that still in me, like that doesn't like when companies do that. Although, well, I guess I can't say that the Galaxy does that, but the Apple does that.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, look, Beta FPV did. I actually liked the BT 2.0 connector on that. What you're talking about, that connector that's on that drone. I like that connector. I think it's a better connector than than what we've been using. But unfortunately, nobody's really adopted it. It's only Beta FPV making the batteries. And I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen at the beginning of the year when it first came out. And now we've got the solid pin connectors, right, Doc? The solid pin, which we've found, or supposedly people have found that it's really not, the beta connectors are really not that much better.
Yeah, it's only it's only a percentage better. So, and for the people that are pushing these things right to the limit, okay, then it makes a difference. For the average pilot, no.
Right, exactly.
It's just not worth it.
Exactly. And you're talking about having such a higher cost now of, well, now you have to buy the batteries, convert the batteries. You also need adapters because there isn't any good charge board that's going to work with the beta batteries. I mean, when I added up how much I spent on the Meteor 65, I was like, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous for all this crap, and it doesn't even work right. Forget it. I'm sending it back. Send it back.
Yeah, and that's the way I feel about it. The ones that I have are just the standard connector that come on these little 300 milliamp batteries, and they work fine. I mean, I couldn't tell you the difference between them.
Sean has a quad up.
Not the way I fly.
Sean has a quad up that I would love to own.
Yeah, this is the one that I was eyeballing all day today. Now, I don't know. It's a long range thing. I watched a video about it today, and depending on your battery setup, you can get like half an hour. It's not meant for rolling and doing crazy loops, which is what I could. I mean, I don't really care if it could do loops or not. I mean, I'm sure you still probably could with this. I don't see why you couldn't. It just wouldn't be as racy oriented, I guess.
Yeah, the performance won't be there. Yeah.
So, but you see, there's like 4 options. I see one DJI remote control. That makes sense. I guess that means if you have the DJI goggles or DJI remote control, you choose that one.
Right.
The Crossfire. I've heard Ken talking about the Crossfire.
Yeah, which I have.
I have it too.
But that's not a controller. That's you have.
Well, no, it fits a controller that takes the JR module.
Ah,
but
so
it
it's like one
also
of these.
is a controller though too.
See? Yes. Now, if you buy the new one, yes. But this
Crossfire
is
makes a controller now.
Well, is it Crossfire that makes it?
It is. It's TBS that makes it.
It's TBS that makes it. Yeah. So okay.
Right.
But
TBS is Crossfire.
And TBS is
so it's
Crossfire.
sort of like what happened back in the day, where you had a module like this. You took it out and you put in this instance, Crossfire.
Right.
And then poof, now you're using Crossfire.
And that's what I do.
Do something with your receiver too, don't you?
Well, you have to use Crossfire receivers.
Okay. So it'd be sort of pointless to buy a DJI setup with a DJI camera and DJI goggles if you're going to use Crossfire.
Yes and no.
Will it read it?
The way it works is you would use a non-DJI controller with a Crossfire receiver, and then the receiver then would go into the flight controller. The flight controller has to connect with the DJI video port,
which is exactly what I do, Sean. This is my DJI Marmot build. It's got the air unit, right?
Let me make you bigger. Hold on.
Yeah. So this is
my.
John needs to be bigger.
This is my this is my 5-inch. This is a 5-inch.
Okay, so that's the DJI module I see in the back, right?
The air unit's in the back. Got the camera in the front.
That's called the air
right?
unit. Okay.
Right, but the control link is this. The air unit just does the goggles. I don't own the DJI controller.
Correct.
I use this controller, and this is what we call my an Immortal T antenna because of the T shape. This is the antenna for the Crossfire.
Like you lit the garage on fire.
Oh God! It didn't smell too bad earlier.
I just worked 20-hour shift and come home to not only did your little drones explode and light the garage on fire, but you in here showing off some drones.
Oh boy, yeah, I'm in trouble now.
Yeah, you're in deep doo doo.
I out at the gas station because.
Oh goodness. Well, to go on with what John was saying, okay, he's using an Immortal T. Okay.
Should I unmute him so?
No, he's fine. All right, let me find one up here. I gotta find it. Here we go. This one here. Okay, this is my Project 399.
Oh, we do.
Okay,
here, I'm
trying to get it in frame here. Okay, this is my Project 399 DRL practice rig. Okay, this is a 7-inch.
Oops.
I used Crossfire on it, but I don't use an Immortal T. This is an Immortal L.
Let's start over. So you've got what camera in the front? Is that the DJI?
No, this is all analog. So I don't use any of the DJI stuff on. Okay, I don't have any of it.
So your camera there connects to what?
The camera connects into the flight controller first,
which is what sends the signal over to your goggles.
Well, which is what overlays the on-screen display, so the information that you want to know about. Oh, baby! Oh, man, you're gonna get X-rated, Sean. That was good.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, so the camera sends its signal into the flight controller. The flight controller overlays the on-screen display, which gives you your battery voltage and all kinds of other stuff that you can select. It then puts that out to the video transmitter, which is back here. and then goes out your antenna, and then to your goggles.
Okay.
So that's how all the systems work, whether it's DJI or analog, doesn't matter. Okay. But this one here on the receive side for control, I don't use an Immortal T. I use an Immortal L. This is what what's his name? Oh goodness, I lost his name. The gentleman that runs FX. I lost his name for a second.
I have no clue. I'm just laughing at all the comments in the
I know
chat about John blushing and, and stuff.
Right or obvious says this is escalating quickly.
Yeah, Banggood, which is where I've got the link to get the drone there. Now, just so you guys do know that I want to go ahead and be 100% up front. The link that I have up there for that kit, you can buy at different places. That's absolutely
it's all over. Yes.
However, I am trying to get something set up with Banggood to be able to ship me some things to be able to make some videos about. So obviously, if you do buy it through that link, they'll be able to see that it came from my account. I don't know if I make any money. I don't think I do, but I'm not sure because it's a new thing I'm trying to work out with them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've got to go through the setup and see. Hopefully, they give me a percentage. I don't know, but the point is it tracks anything that's sold through it. And if they see sales coming through them, then they'll go, "Oh, this guy's videos, people actually watch them, and he makes a difference." And then you buy them, and let's send them something else. That's correct. So that's why that's linked up there. So if you guys are thinking of getting the Tiny Hawk 2 and you don't mind waiting a week to get it, use that link. I would definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, Sam Burns goes, it looks like a Doc Murdoch custom antenna. Yeah, you're absolutely right. This VTX antenna is my antenna. I hand make those things. So they work. I can't argue with them. I've tried commercial ones, and the only commercial ones that seem to work are the ones from Video Aerial Systems, at least in my experience. So I just make my own. But I'm going to answer right or obvious, and then I'm going to have you start over because they want you to start over.
Oh, okay.
So no, that's not
I'm interrupting you.
So go for it. Go for it.
The two of us here. Okay.
Well, it looks like we got a whole different person on the screen now.
I just took them out until they're ready. So as far as I know, Banggood is trustworthy. Kelly from Ready Set Drone has worked with him in the past. He's put links through them, and he said
I've purchased stuff from him and have had no problems.
Yeah, so totally, you guys shouldn't have a problem with them, as far as I know. Don't hold me to it, but as far as I know, it should not be a problem.
Yeah.
All right,
There's
I'm
always
going to give you. Well, even with Amazon, shit gets lost, right? So,
absolutely.
Yeah, John changed his look. I had to remove him because I can't tell if they're fighting in the background. I can still see the little icon. I don't know if they're fighting or not, but the audio's off and the video's off screen.
Oh goodness!
If he turns his audio back on, I'll bring him back in. But I don't want to bring him back in when he has his audio. Oh, he turned it back on. Let me add him back.
We're not fighting. I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm bringing her out of the chair though because she wanted to explain what this is in her terms.
I can't.
No, let's do that.
She understands it.
Please do, because I'm new to it too.
Go for it. Let's hear her explain it.
I understand it.
This is a beginner session, so explain.
Absolutely.
Well, this is the body. This part here, this X is the body.
That's correct.
Not that much. This is the little thingy that protects his camera when he fucks it up and I'm not sure what's supposed to go in here. I know in some of the other ones this is where a camera goes, but I don't know why.
A GoPro. You can put a GoPro up there.
Where'd the purple one go?
Purple one's over here.
I like that one better. Fuck this one.
Wow, you're dropping F-bombs. Is that okay, Sean?
My goodness.
It's totally okay.
He's like a bug. And his propellers, his props are purple. They'd be a lot cooler if they had glitter in them.
Those are Gemfan Hurricane 51477s. Awesome propellers.
Is your favorite color purple?
They don't have glitter.
It was the color that was in stock.
They're
not your favorite color, John. We don't care about you. We want to know if it's her favorite color.
Oh, they want to know if that's your favorite color. Your favorite color, purple. Yeah, I knew it was your favorite color.
I don't know why the back end are on the ass end of the drone instead of the front end of the drone.
Wait, say that again?
But its ears are on its ass.
Oh, its ears are on its ass.
I've never noticed that before.
So the ears.
Those are the antenna.
You talk about these. So the ears are on the ass because generally you're flying with the drone to the back. You know what I mean? So
it's like going away from you. So
right,
if
it's going
it's
away
pointed towards you
Why
from the
does
back,
this look like
then
Robert's?
well, because it's a pretty similar kind of frame. Well, anyway, what else about it?
all right.
This one
All right, let's
also
put
has
this-
the fuck up cage.
Yes, it does. It also has the F-up cage. That's right, and it's got the camera protector.
This one has my hair in it.
Oh, that's terrible.
I didn't
All right,
do
so
that.
I am going to put Doc full screen now, so he
Doc's
can
come
go
back
ahead and.
now.
Oh,
Okay, now here's
a drone with him.
Now this is a different version of the one that he's holding. This is an older version. This is the Armiton Rooster. Now the front cage is movable. This one is not. This one is rigid. But effectively, they fly almost exactly the same. So, and that's all it is. And you notice I don't run the Immortal T. I run the Immortal L. And this is how the antenna setup is on it. The VTX antenna mounts right here on the very back of the TPU mount. So,
Did you see that comment?
which one? Yeah, I just spat my beer. Was that before or after she explained the drone?
That's great. Oh, well, John, whenever your mic is not muted, I'll bring you back in.
I'm back. It's just me now. It's just me. It's safe. It's safe for me to come back in.
But there you go. I mean, when you look at this things, all of the frames. So for everybody that's out there that do camera drone flying, all of your FPV frames have all the same basic component. They'll have a frame that mounts usually 4 motors, but you can do 3 motors. That's a tricopter. You can do 8 motors. You can do 6 motors. But effectively, they all mount similarly. You have a flight camera. You have your flight controller. You have your receiver for control link. And you have your video transmitter for the video link. And then your battery mounts to it. And then you have your speed controllers, whether they're individual on the arms or whether you have a 4-in-1 that goes underneath the flight controller. Every single copter, including your camera drones, have all these parts in it. They're just made differently for the camera drones than they are for these. When you get to these, they're virtually all the same. Many different manufacturers. Some are better than others. Some have more amperage than others. That's the only real difference, you know. And your quality does change from company to company depending on what you buy and how much you spend. But for the most part, you want to put one of these together for the first time, spend $35 on a set of motors, spend $35 on a set of ESCs, you spend $35 on a flight controller, you spend $20 on a video transmitter that's very basic, you spend let's see here, what's Crossfire? No, let's not go Crossfire. Let's just say you do FR Sky. You get an RXSR, they're what, 20, 25 bucks? Yeah, for a receiver. The cameras, you can get a flight camera for anywhere from $15 to $50. Just pick one and just hook it up, and it will work.
Let me interrupt. Again, this is for the guys who like to build stuff. Everything he just said, I have found pre-built on websites everywhere.
Absolutely.
So there are tons of stuff, guys. You can get into this FPV stuff without ever picking up a soldering iron.
But here's the catch. Here's the catch.
I said get into it.
You can buy all of these already pre-built, and that's not a problem. Most of the pre-builds fly really good now, where 2 to 3 years ago, not quite so. You were lucky to get one that did. Mm-hmm. But now you can get ones that are really well tuned. They're pre-done. But the moment you put it in the air and the moment you hit that first tree, you're going to tear a motor off. You're going to tear an ESC off. Well, you're going to have to go in and fix it. And the moment you have to go fix it, well, you go fly this size, you're going to tear one off.
You fly this one. I haven't
Absolutely.
broke nothing. No. I had a propeller pop off. Guess what I did? I didn't need any solder. I went push, and it worked again.
This one here is over a year old. And I'll hold it up real close to the camera here. Let's see if I can get it. You see the side of the canopy? That's all that's wrong with it, is the little canopy's broke. I got brand new canopies put on it already.
Damn cheap Chinese plastic.
That's right.
I got to answer a question from Tim real quick. He asked me what goggles I'm using. These were a gift. These are the Amways. And Kelly from Ready Set Drone gave me this with that little tiny Hawk S that I have.
They are an excellent goggle.
And this is a cheap remote that actually came, that link that I have up there, the Tiny Hawk kit, this is the remote that comes in that Tiny Hawk kit.
Correct.
So the difference is, instead of getting the Tiny Hawk that came with it, I guess Kelly thought I was up to the challenge of the next one up, which is this S, and he thought I should have the next step up on goggles, so he gave me these instead of the goggles that came with them. I don't know crap about the two antennas. I just know I can put this one on that side if I want to, and that one on that side, and supposedly it works the same. I don't know for sure if that's true.
It is. The way those goggles work is they actually have 2 receivers in it. And then it mixes the signal. It picks whichever one's the strongest and switches back and forth between it.
And then I found a spot here for an SD card. And I had no instructions, so I'm sitting there forever trying to figure out how to
turn it on.
Cord.
Yeah.
Well, you got to put a battery here, right? So it doesn't have like a chargeable battery in here. Mine have like floppy inside. This is coming off, and so now I have to figure out if I can buy another one of those and how to fix that.
The foam?
The foam, yeah.
It's actually goes on. Some of them have Velcro in it, very fine Velcro.
Not this one. Nope.
Some of them have sticky back. Like a lot of the fat sharks have a sticky back that you put a piece on and then you
put
the foam on.
3 layers. So it's a soft foam and then like a medium foam.
Yeah.
And then, and then the sticky that goes to it. Yeah, it's separated from the layers. I see now. So I just got to figure out where to buy that, and it's all stretched out, so there's no way to fix it myself.
Yeah, so you can order it.
Them on. It works.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Tim, so far they've been okay. They break up a lot. In the videos I've played, they're actually, I don't understand this, but the video recordings are broken up a hell of a lot more than what it's actually broken up when I'm viewing it.
That has to do with the DVR built into it. They are horrible. All of them are.
Okay.
There's very few that are decent. Very few.
Even on a fat shark.
Even on a fat shark, yep. Here,
so
I'll give you an example. There's an HDO. That thing has a DVR in it. That's crap. I mean, it does okay.
Hold on, guys. You got to explain to these people what ACR, because I'm just figuring out by HDR, you don't mean HDR mode as in
HDO.
HDO.
Yeah, HDO. Oh, okay. This is the model of the goggle. This is an HDO.
Okay, so what did you call the recording?
DVR, digital video recording.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay,
gotcha. I thought I heard you say that was an HDO.
No. This is an HDO set of fat shark goggles. Basically, what it is it's high definition OLED screen. That's what the HDO.
So they're going to have a better picture than this one if your eyeballs are actually in there.
Well, what it is, it has a crisper screen inside. That's all it is.
But that's going to give you a better dynamic range and that kind of stuff.
Well, yes and no. I mean, here's the trade-off. These are 4x3 in the format. Okay, I have my other goggles. These are the Dom V3s, the Dominator V3s. These are 16x9.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer these over the OLED screens. Even though the OLED screens are sharper and crisper, I get a better, wider picture that's easier to fly with these for me. But I do use my HDOs more, and it's just because they're newer. And I want to save these as backup in case the HDOs go, and then I still got a decent set of goggles to fly.
The Dom V3 are my daily analog driver, man. I probably will not quit using those until something happens to them. For now, I'm fine with that. I've got my analog on the Fat Sharks, digital with the DJI.
So Ryder Obvious said that he called the recording crap. Well, the reason why the recording's crap is because the DVR built into the goggles is crap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's the reason why.
No, not to say that it didn't break up in the goggles some, but on my playback,
not like what you see on the playback.
No, there's breakup in spots that had no breakup, and then it's even worse in some spots where there was a little breakup, and it was sort of weird to me that it does that. But why would it be so crap? Why don't they just get one that can just mimic what you see?
I don't know. Lon Denard says, "Why not get wider OLED screens?" Talk to Fat Shark. We all have.
Why not get a power button?
See you, man.
No.
Lon came up to Spin Down, which was one hell of a windy day. Well, Doc was there.
Yeah.
You guys, you remember
absolutely.
Lon. Yeah, we all went bowling. That was so much fun.
Oh my Lord, that was fun up there. All right, so here's something that we haven't covered for the beginners. All right, whether you buy a pre-built or whether you build one, okay, doesn't matter. You're still going to need certain things. You're still going to need a charger. You're still going to need some form of a parallel board if you want to charge more than a couple batteries at a time.
Let me interrupt you. You're talking about something besides one of these all-in-one kits, because that all comes with the all-in-one kit for the
Not everything. Not everything.
Mine did. Which was missing? Yeah, I got a little charger.
Did it come with some double-sided double stick tape to stick the antenna down?
What antenna? I didn't even have an antenna on mine. I mean, I do, but I don't know what it is.
It's there.
You talking about that little tiny antenna right there?
Yep. Wait till you get that thing stuck in the prop and it's bent, and then you got to get it to stay over. You take a little piece of this, stick it to the bottom of it, stick it on the frame, it'll stay put.
Absolutely.
I can just get a dab of hot glue and put it in there.
Okay, well, there's another thing you got to have. You got to have a hot glue gun.
Who doesn't have a hot glue gun in their house? Everybody owns a hot glue gun.
No, you'd be surprised how many people don't.
Yep.
But
do both of you guys own a hot glue gun?
I have 3.
Yeah. I've got like 4 probably.
I'm not joking. I've got a little bitty one for doing fine jobs. I've got a little bit bigger one for doing a bigger job, and then I got ones that take those big sticks, where you can, put a lot down.
Mm-hmm.
It comes down to purpose. Each one has a use purpose.
Well, it's like a screwdriver.
Yeah. Okay. Now back to the tools. If you're going to fly these things, doesn't matter what size, doesn't matter if they're pre-built or not, you're still going to need some tools. Simple pair of needle nose, very fine point ones. You're going to need a pair because a lot of these things are small and you're going to have to move them around.
But you don't have to buy these out of the box, guys.
No.
When you break your crap,
but
then
you're going to need them. Okay? Pair of wire cutters. These are flush cutters. These you can buy at Harbor Freight for like $5. Okay?
I think most guys already own those, though. Right?
You would be surprised.
Like
you
most
would be surprised.
Guys. Okay, guys, right?
Oh.
Well, Sean,
I'm walking on thin ice here. Oh,
I hate to tell you, but if we went a guy thing, you would just go nuts over some of the tools I have because
I'd probably be envious.
Yeah, I buy tools as I need it to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Doc, I really like the drone skull you have hanging up in the background on your wall there.
Which one? The what?
That drone skull in the back corner of your wall right there. Other shoulder. The other shoulder.
Oh, right that one. Yeah. That kind of fits really nice on my window,
Yeah, it does right there. Merch in the description below.
You're going to have to make some curtains with that on it.
That would actually be pretty dope.
Yeah.
I am working on stickers and a bunch of other things. I had stickers of that guy a long time ago. I'm coming up with new designs.
Yep.
A lot of new designs, some drone related, some not drone related. They're going to be in the merch store coming 2021. Now let's get back to the FPV drones.
Tim Jackson says that I use a glue gun to put my eyelashes on. Tim, is that because you burned them off or because you yanked them off? I mean, it's one or the other, you kind of go that route. But another tool you're going to need is a small pair of pliers that can cut wires. Then you're going to need a few other little things. That one there is the Allen driver. And there's typically 2, sometimes 3 different sizes you're going to need. Like I got a set from Harbor Freight that has like 20 different ones in it. And it came with this screwdriver part. And dude, I use this thing all the time on every one of my drones. It's just so handy.
Doc, this is the over information that scares people away from starting.
What? From just knowing they need an Allen wrench?
No, I mean, come on. They just want to buy the kit and fly, and then when it breaks,
as soon as the camera falls out and they don't have a 1.5 millimeter Allen key,
they go buy one. Then they don't buy it all at once.
I want to share something if I can for a second here.
Yeah. What you got? Let's see. Add to stream.
Okay.
There you go. What do we got?
So, isn't this beautiful?
Look at the one on the bottom. It looks like a sperm.
Okay. So we're talking about tools here.
And sperm.
A bind and fly pre-built will get you in the game. That's true. But if you want to stay in the game, you're going to have to solder. It's just a matter of when, not if.
Correct.
And a lot of people may have a soldering iron around. At the time, my dad did this is old. This is like 6 or 7 years old now. This is like my first soldering attempt on a piece of electronics. You don't use a 50 or 60 watt crappy Weller iron, and you don't use plumbing solder on electronics, and you don't use plumbing flux on electronics.
You mean like one of these?
I'll tell you a tip, guys, from all the years of soldering that I did for a living.
You just don't do that. You're not going to get a good joint.
You laugh at that's 140 watt soldering iron, dude.
Okay, let me tell you guys a tip. For all those people, many years of soldering, it's really all about the flux. The flux. Well, of course, the solder matters, true. But the flux is the most important part, because you get the wrong flux and the thing just won't bind to whatever you're trying to get it to. Oh man, it's so important.
That is absolutely true. Of course, then you can have your son fly your quad, right, and require you to have to fix things. Let me show you this one if I can get it to do it right. Let's see here. Check that out. Now, let me see if I can get it a little closer. That is my very first quad that I built out of wood.
It looks like a squash bug.
It came out as a squash bug.
Okay, so it's not my imagination.
No, he had it 100 feet in the air and got disoriented and drove the thing into the dirt. It happens. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, you gotta have a good iron, which is you gotta have a good iron. You gotta have the right solder. You gotta have all the right tools. I mean, if you don't have this stuff, everything's just gonna fall apart on you. And
John, and there's a good point about soldering irons. Sean, you know about these because there's a difference between AC irons and DC irons. And it's in the amp draw and how they apply the heat. Mm-hmm. I use AC irons here at the house, but when I'm out flying, if I break a wire, I use DC irons. And I find that I have to power them. I have to overpower them for them to work the way AC irons work at home. So like I have a 12-volt soldering iron that I keep in my flight bag. It plugs right into a LiPo with an XT60. If I plug it into a 3S battery, which technically is 12 volts, it'll barely heat a battery wire or even a motor wire. But if I plug a 4S battery into it, it works perfect.
Yep, absolutely. Which field iron do you have?
I don't know. It's one I got off of eBay. So it's this one right here. XT60.
Gotcha.
This is a 12 volt, 30 watt iron. I think it's like $12, off eBay. It's dirt cheap, but it works. And it works very well.
You ever hear of the TS100?
Yes. Oh, very, very great soldering iron. Okay. But not cheap.
Not cheap. No, I mean, what does it go for these days? Like $40, I think, something like that.
I think the full kit's like 60. For the good ones. That comes with all the extra tips and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
That's true. It's like more like $50. Yeah, mm-hmm. I've had the TS100. I should have it here to show you guys. I've had the TS100 for like the past couple of years now, 2 or 3 years, and man, that's a great iron. That's really great iron.
No, I won't argue that it is, but you spend quite a bit for it. The other soldering iron I use and keep in my flight bag is this one. It's a little 8-watt soldering iron. This is perfect for soldering a broken video wire or a broken receiver wire or a broken signal wire to an ESC, if you tear one off. And it gets just hot enough to be able to solder that wire back on because the wires are very fine. And it just uses a simple plug-in in the back. It works off of 5 volts. It's a USB connector. So I got creative, of course. I went down to the dollar store, bought one of those cigarette lighters, broke it apart, soldered an XT60 onto it, taped it all up with some hot glue, and I plug it on to any LiPo, any 2-cell to whatever.
That's the way to do it.
And this will power this iron with no problem.
That's the way to do it. See, I like that. I really my TS100 is really silly. It almost never leaves the bench. I don't pack it in my bag or anything like that. It's pretty much my bench iron.
Right.
if I want to take it to the field, I can, but it pretty much never leaves it. That would be great for me to just keep in my backpack and leave there.
Yeah, that's what these 2 soldering irons I just showed. That is exactly where they live. They get very little use because I don't crash too much and tear stuff up out in the field very often. But when I do, or if I'm out flying with others and somebody else tears something up, I've got the tools to fix it.
Yep, I've been in that situation before too, and it's like, oh well, nobody has the tools to fix it. We're screwed.
Okay, now wait. Okay, now talking about tools. All right, no, well, finish on soldering irons. If you look over my shoulder here, these are all my soldering irons. I have them hanging on the wall right next to me because I use them all the time right here. I've got a 40 watt, a 30 watt, the 8 watt, and that's what I use. The 40 watts for doing the real heavy wires, for doing batteries and things. But the next tool that every single person, including all you camera drone people, should have in your bag, every one of you, zip ties.
Zip ties, yes.
You should not ever go fly without a zip tie.
Absolutely.
A little bag of them. Because what happens if something falls off? What happens if you clip a tree and something comes loose and you still need to get the video shot? Zip tie.
Zip tie.
It's that simple. You got to have zip ties.
So Lon is making very controversial statements here. What do you think of that?
Let's see. I'll buy crash insurance and 3 FPV drones, to rotate. Well, I tell you what, if you're out doing it for money, okay, and this is the difference. If you're out flying for yourself, having a great time, you don't need to. Fix it. If you break it, fix it. But if you're out flying for hire, then if you don't have at least 3 of the same drone when you go out to go do what you're doing, you're kidding yourself. You are just absolutely kidding yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, look what happened to Ken.
Sean, where's your audio?
Oh, Sean's out.
You muted your mic, Sean.
He's having audio problems. No, you're right. And if you're working commercial, of course, that's what you're going to do.
That's right.
But
absolutely.
The average person cannot afford to do that, and I really don't think that this is going to change drastically for FPV. I just don't see it. We're not there yet. I mean,
that's correct.
We'll see what DJI comes up with, but I'm not expecting it to be cheap. Okay, I'm not expecting the crash insurance to be cheap.
So your mic's still muted, Sean. But to give you an idea of drones, no audio.
Nope, we're still screwed on the audio, man. Check
Sean, it just looks like it's clicked off.
Yeah, but even when he unclicks it, he's screwed.
Yeah, not getting anything.
All right, switch to sign language.
No, we don't want to do that because everybody will understand us.
Let's see what Lon is saying. Anything? Oh, he says 3 drones.
Well, okay. Here, let me do this. I'm going to do this real carefully, all right, because I'll try to get the camera back.
Yeah, we own dozens of drones, but what does it cost us to maintain
Here we
them,
Well, let me put it in perspective. Other than the the orange one just above the bigger one that's got the white props, other than that one, every one of those drones up there, all of the components that are inside the frames, cost-wise, are identical. Within a few dollars of each other. The frame prices is all that's really different. I mean, you go and get a quality frame, you're going to spend between $75 and $100+.
Right.
But do you need that? Not learning, not starting out. I don't think so. I think you can go and get a perfectly good frame off of, Amazon or eBay just fine, for $25 to $30. Go beat the living tar out of it and learn how to fly.
Yep.
Buy 3 frames. Because if they're $25 to $30, buy 3 frames. You've spent $100. You don't have to build 3 quads, but you've got 1 quad that you fly, and if you break something, then you use one of the other frames as a parts donor.
Exactly.
And that's how you do it. Now, I don't do that too much because I have the tools, and a lot of my quads that I started learning how to fly FPV on, they were all made out of plywood. if I broke something, I came home, put my template back over a piece of plywood, went to the bandsaw and cut another part out, and just swapped all the mechanics.
Yeah, well, Lon is saying he doesn't know a single FPV guy with less than an F ton of drones. I mean, yeah, that's true.
That happens. That just happens.
Yeah, that does just happen.
Absolutely.
But I mean, like, I just don't know how any kind of crash insurance is really going to work. Especially, I mean, like, what we're talking. Okay, Lon, every time anything little happens to your quad that there's a problem, you would send it in for crash insurance. For so many reasons, that's just not practical in FPV.
Correct.
It's just not.
Not when that piece right there costs $12.
Exactly. Why?
And it's 5 solder connections.
Exactly. And look at this. For example, I've got the ESCs on the arms here. If this dies, all I have to do is desolder it, put a new one on there.
Sean.
That cost me $12. Literally $12. So
Sean's getting all frustrated.
If a motor goes, that cost me $16. What is this insurance going to?
Mine are 12.
No, you're gonna have to ship the drone in. All right, first of all, that's gonna cost you probably at least $15-20 to ship it in. Then who's gonna pay to ship it to you? Okay, you got to think about that. You're already spending quite a bit of money for what could be a simple repair.
That's right.
Very simple, 5-minute repair.
That's correct.
Just knows how to do a little soldering.
Ryder Obvious says that he's going to start with a simulator. Great, Ryder. The question then comes is, which radio are you going to use to connect to the simulator? And that's the big question you got to answer. If you just want to go cheap to try it, right there, guys. Right there. It's a Turnigy Evolution. It's $50. And it will plug right in. Okay? And if you don't like it or aren't capable, you try it and you try it and try it, you just can't get it, you're out $50. You can sell it for $35 and you got $15 worth of use out of it. And somebody will buy it because these are still good radios. Versus spending $100+ on something like that to do the same thing. Okay? And bear in mind, if you're going to fly simulator, this radio with all the bells and whistles will function. Hey, I heard you, Sean.
Okay, I switched to a different microphone. I don't know why. Through the black magic, it's not working, but there we go. Something's working. It probably sounds shittier now, but whatever.
Well, you're out of sync now just a little bit, but at least we can hear you.
I can switch the mic. Listen, I can switch.
Have you ever heard of Beagle Care? They're mentioning Beagle Care in the chat, and I'm kind of curious about it. I'm looking it up.
I haven't heard about it.
Well, I'm pulling it up here. Apparently, Beagle Care, if you buy a drone from them, I guess, they... Oh, boy, I'm having a cat situation here. Oh, boy, that's not good. That's not good. You guys need to stop. Apparently, Beagle Care will cover your drone for this kind of time.
Well, Sam Burns made a comment about the radio stuff. Sam, the only difference between this radio and my Tyrannus is the length of the sticks are a little longer on the Tyrannus. They're spaced a little differently, and they have a little different throw to them. Other than that, they function exactly the same. It's not that difficult to go from one type of radio to another type of radio. Ryder Obvious, have a good night, buddy.
And Ryder, just before you go, my point of view from being a beginner out playing with this is I thought about doing the simulator first, but I had to buy a controller and to test the waters. I was going to buy a cheap controller, right? So now I've wasted $20-$30, right? $30 or so. And problem with that is now I have to buy something else once I decide to jump into one of these little starter kits, right?
That's right.
So why not just buy one of these little indestructible starter kits and fucking go for it?
And Sean, if I'm not mistaken, isn't the controller you have with your starter kit, doesn't that one have the USB port to plug into to use it as a simulator?
It has a USB input on the bottom, a little micro. However,
I wonder.
However,
Yeah.
I have not tried to see if it can be hooked up to anything besides the charger.
Because I haven't heard, and I haven't really looked.
Well, I got a
But,
highlight. Where did he go? Don he made it funny. Oh, where'd it go? He said,
Don did?
"Control your pussy," but he's talking about your cat, John.
Oh my god! You guys,
Like I was reading that, going, "What's he talking about?" I'm not sure what he's talking about. And then I heard the cat, and I'm like, "That's brilliant."
Okay,
Brilliant.
Sam Burns says, yes, Sean, you can use that on the sim.
Well, there you go. Right there, right or obvious. If you're
So, yeah, it's a
buy the little
great
cheapo kit, and now you have a cheapo
$200, right, Sean?
$170.
$170. You
Comes
get
with
the drone,
everything right off
the
door.
goggles, the controller,
batteries,
everything.
the charger.
yep.
You just
That's a good
plug
deal.
it in and fly.
Exactly. But you can still get on the sim.
Yeah. So there you
So
go.
there it is.
Oh, that's cool. So Sam is confirming that. That's good.
Yeah, Sam confirmed
although
that.
the sim that I'm about to get is probably the Drone Racing League one that's on Xbox One.
That's fine. You can actually download it off of Steam and just put it on your Mac or on your PC also.
I hate playing games on a computer. I absolutely hate it. I've always hated it. When I play games, I want to be lounging on a couch way far away from a TV like this. I don't want to have to be at my keyboard or anything.
All right, well,
Keyboard and mouse is better.
Okay.
Sorry.
I know, but I don't want to do
Better.
it. I
Question, Sean. Your kit on your goggles, does it have an HDMI input?
Well, these goggles don't come with that kit, so I can't speak for the ones that come with that kit.
Yeah, just the ones that come with the kit. Does it have a way to plug? No, not the
This
Almways.
does.
Yeah, the Almways do, but does the kit one? Does it have a way to plug in externally?
So I didn't get the kit. So Kelly mixed and matched this for me.
Oh, okay.
So
All
I got the controller from the kit.
All right. Well,
I
somebody
got
in the
drones
chat,
up.
if they know about the whole kit, find out if the goggles that come with the kit, if it has an HDMI input, or even a video input.
So is this so I can plug it into something else? I assume.
Yes. Here's what you can do with those, and with Fat Sharks. Fat Sharks have it also. See, right there. Okay. What you can do is you put the sim on the computer, right? You then have an output from your video card with an HDMI cable and plug into your goggles. Your goggles become a second monitor. You tell the sim to put out on that monitor. You now fly the sim with your goggles.
Huh? Yeah.
Yes.
Doc, information overload sometimes.
Information overload.
No, it's just simple. You're taking the output instead of doing it on the screen on your computer screen.
Oh.
Your goggles become the computer screen.
You're talking about my TV, so I could just do HDMI out from my TV to my goggles?
Well, if your TV has an HDMI out, yes.
Yeah.
Or you do a splitter. You just get one of those HDMI splitters that, one signal goes in and two signals come out. You take one signal that comes out of the splitter, stick it in your goggles. That way somebody can sit on the couch and watch the big screen while you crash the living daylights out of the thing on the goggles.
Yeah. And now that I can talk, since I think one of you guys messed with my mic because you didn't want to hear what I was going to say.
No.
The cats did it.
The cat.
It was the cats,
I was trying to say I agree with Lon 100% with this influx of people getting into FPV. If you've noticed, it's becoming more and more popular. Like I said, 7 years ago, I didn't like it. I hated it. The technology is caught up to the point that I do like it.
Absolutely.
Because I want a plug and play. And that's pretty much what Don is saying. And I think that
and I'll tell you, DJI has sure stepped the game up in that area too, because with their system, like if you buy their controller, their goggles, and the flight controller, all the stuff, that goes along with it, man, it's tough to beat the quality of the, of
I'm
the
sure you
video
guys have
and the
heard the
signal.
rumors of DJI getting into the FPV game. And
yeah.
Rumors are that they're going to make an FPV game, one that the regular FPV world is going to hate because it's not going to be something you can just solder and fix yourself.
Right.
So, I mean, obviously, no matter what, there's going to be people who can. But the average Joe doesn't want that. The average Joe wants to plug and play, right? Even me, who knows how to solder, who knows how to do this stuff. I don't want to do it. Like, I really don't want to do it. Now, I will do it to fix certain things, but if I keep breaking it enough and I have to do it all the time, guess what? I'm going to either go back to the Tiny Hawk where I don't have to worry about it ever, or I'll get something like a Cinewhoop, which still has, things protecting the props, so I don't crash as hard.
it just comes down to the usage again. You know, I mean, you know, the ones that I fly, they're the ones that get beat the living tar out of, you know, when you fly them hard. You go into like the center drones, they're not flown as hard.
Right.
They're flown with purpose.
Which is what I'm getting.
Which is what you do.
For.
That's
because
right. Which
if
is
I
what
fly
you
it like crazy up here, I'm not going to fly it up to that peak where I brought you guys that was 12,000 feet, right? Crash it at the top of that and then spend 6 hours climbing up there to go get it.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No. Yeah, exactly. You're going to go out there and go on the bunny slope, if you will, okay, during winter with that center drone, and you're going to go get some absolutely killer shots of all the newbies learning how to ski. You know,
can't fly drones at the ski resort, but yeah, I get the concept of what you're saying.
Yeah, you get the idea.
Doc, your video is breaking up all of a sudden.
Is it really?
Yeah. John, do you see it breaking up for you?
Yeah, it is.
Is it popping in and out a little bit?
Yeah,
it's all
going in and
pixelated.
out. Yeah.
Really? Wow. No, it's well. Here, let me try a different.
I find it very strange that I had to switch away from my ATM Mini and use my internal mic and cam on my computer.
Yours and John's just did it.
Really?
Flickered, yeah. I wonder if it's something on StreamYards.
It could be.
It could be. That's the thing with StreamYards, and that's one of the reasons I was messing so much with OBS the other day, last night. Well, last night I was doing tests, and I just didn't have time. With OBS, as soon as I can get it locked in, and Geeks Vana actually hit me up on Twitter saying he'd sit there and try and help me figure out how to get the chat to show.
Yeah, that just takes a little fussing to get it to work.
Yeah, because the way that I had the chat, it was too pixelated. You couldn't read it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a lot of people in the thing were like, "Well, we don't need the chat," but the chat is actually
it's
for
helpful
anyone
sometimes.
who might want to watch it in a replay, because a lot of people don't click and expand the live chat to see it in the replay.
Hey, Sean, I have a question. When you found Ken Heron's drone, right? Was the battery still plugged in? Did it just die overnight, or did it become ejected, or what?
I think the battery was still plugged in.
It was still plugged in, but it just wasn't beeping anymore at that point or nothing, because I guess it had died.
No, I mean, the next morning, we didn't hear any beep that night either, to be honest.
Didn't hear any beep that night either. So I just thought of this because I think you were talking about searching for a drone or whatever. Yeah. This is a really good beginner tip, I think. So have you heard of buzzers, or have you seen buzzers?
Yeah, I was looking at one today, actually.
Good. Yeah, so the buzzers will keep going after you eject the battery. This has saved my butt so many freaking times.
Yeah, on that long Doc is completely broken up on us and frozen
he's
now.
Done. Yeah, he's out.
Really?
Oh yeah. Well, your video's out.
We're seeing like one frame for every probably 100 or so.
Wow. Let me try. Let's see here.
Here, I'm gonna kick you out and come right back. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes that works. How do I kick him out completely? Kick from studio. Okay. Hopefully that lets him. He didn't ban him. He should be able to click and come right back. But yeah, I was looking at one of those on that long distance drone that I was showing you, because that one I was watching. What is the guy's name? He's got a YouTube channel. I was talking about him last night a little bit. I just found him. Do you remember from last night, John?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember his name.
Something. He was very technical and knew a lot of stuff.
Talking about Bardwell?
Yes, that's it. Yeah. Yes, that's it.
Bardwell's like the god of FPV knowledge.
Does he race or something?
Yeah, he does do some races. He does freestyle. He does all sorts of stuff. But Bardwell is like the wealth of knowledge for the FPV community.
So he just posted a video today of that long range FPV. That's how I found out about it.
Oh, okay.
And Sam says the long range we showed has the battery buzzer, which is true. That's one of the things I saw on the end of it. So I guess if the battery comes disconnected, it beeps. I'm not sure if the battery dies if it beeps. I would imagine it does. If your battery runs out, it would still beep since it's disconnected.
Right. So there's a battery on the buzzer itself, right? And depending on which one you get, this one advertises that it'll last for like 3 days. And the one on this one's kind of interesting. It's called the Wi-Fi Finder. It's tucked. I have it tucked. I don't know if you can even freaking see it. That's it right there where I'm pointing to. My lighting is terrible.
Okay.
But Supposedly, it can detect whether it's night or day, and it will actually stop beeping at night if you want it to. And when you return the day to look for it, then it will start beeping again.
There we go. Is that better?
We hear you, but we see no picture at all.
Really?
Yeah, and your audio is sort of staticky.
In StreamYard, it's looking okay.
You're completely black, dude.
No.
Still nothing?
Yeah. It's like a black screen. You don't see a black screen on your end? Oh, shit. There you go. Is that back? No,
Yeah.
Still black.
No, I myself, I see you and John just popped out.
John, does his audio sound all jacked up to you?
Yeah,
Now
it
your
does. It
picture's
sounds
back.
robotic. Yeah, it's got
Yeah.
that robotic sound where it's throttling back the audio bit rate.
Wow.
No, there's your audio's coming back.
Okay, my audio's good now.
Okay, now you're starting to, your picture's moving again.
Okay, well, let me turn the audio down a little bit. Maybe I'm just cranking it a little hard.
No, it was
How's that a little
cutting in
bit?
and
Is that a little better now?
No, it was fine just a second ago.
Okay.
Basically, it was cutting in and out like a bad cell signal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, according to what I see up here on screen, everything's fine.
And Don, Lon Bernard. Anyways, I agree. I absolutely agree with him. Like, I foresee this as the future. DJI is probably going to do it, and other people will start copying, just like they're copying DJI now and other things. Because so many people, it will open up the hobby to an influx of people, and DJI will bank on it because everyone will have to send their stuff back to get it repaired, or they'll buy another one if they can get the price cheap enough, so that it's all, and the DJI goggles, I think, were the stepping stone for them.
I think with DJI, I think where they'll end up down the road with this is they'll end up with like a middle ground between the two.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to change the racers, and I don't think it's going to change the freestyle guys.
For guys like us that go out and build this stuff, and we'll fly, it's not going to affect us.
Nope.
But there's going to be a middle ground in there where you could buy something similar to this, but still at the flip of a switch, it go into an automated mode that will just hold position, hold altitude, and just stop.
Right, exactly.
And then when your nerves are calmed down, you can flip the switch and go again.
Right, that's what I'm.
That's already out there, though.
Yes, it is, and it's
not from DJI.
But no,
not from
but
DJI,
it's through iNav.
I saw
iNav
a
is
drone.
capable of that.
Somebody else had a video I was watching, and he flipped the switch, and it turned GPS on, and it went. Yep. It even had a return to home.
Matter of fact,
FPV.
Now I didn't get a chance to do it on this one for spin down. This is my Stingy V2 that I brought up there. Okay, that I made and flighted up there. I put Betaflight on it just to get it to where I could fly it. This one here, I actually have to build the piece for the back to mount the GPS module on it. This has a flight controller that's capable of handling all that. This flight controller already has a barometer in it, and all I have to do is put a little piece of foam on it to make it more stable. But all I have to set it up, get the GPS on, get that on, and then program it through iNav. And iNav is like Betaflight. It's a fork of Betaflight, but it leans towards the autonomy, where Betaflight leaned towards the racing and freestyling. So it's a lot more involved getting it programmed and set up. But for guys that want to be able to do that with something like this and have the best of both worlds, it's there already.
Yep.
At the flip of a switch.
But you have to build it.
That's correct.
And that's what I think.
And that's where
I think DJI is going to come out with something eventually.
Yeah, if they go that route, if they go that route where they take their module and make it at a flip of a switch that it can do both modes, where it can do Acro mode and just go crazy with it, but flip it and it just go blip and it just stop.
Yep.
And hold position, hold altitude, they got to win. They got an absolute win.
Yeah, and I like this is why I like when Lon talks about how it's gonna change FPV. I think DJI will come in with a model that's gonna change a slice of FPV, sector of FPV.
Let's change the word from change to broaden. Okay, because that's what it's going to do. It's going to broaden the user base. You guys who like to build the shit, you're going to still get to build the shit.
Oh,
you can go
buy ready-to-run RC cars, ready-to-run planes now, right? There's still tons of kits that you have to have all the little pieces and put them together, right? So that's still going to be out there. But it's just like the Mavic Pro made consumer drones blow up. If DJI does it right, it's going to do the same thing for FPV.
Right. It'll take the best of both worlds and create a whole nother world right in between.
The one thing though, the one difference I think is that DJI made camera drones so good that it honestly ended up not being worth it to build your own camera drone. There used to be a point that people built their own and it was worth it, or you bought one and you modded one. Nowadays, people really just don't do that. It's just not worth it. You can't build something as good as what DJI gives you for the price. It's just not there. I don't see DJI coming in and knocking the park out of that of the entire FPV category. I just don't see it. Whereas they did that for the camera birds, in my opinion. They honestly did that.
I agree with you there. I think there's always going to be the people that want to build, right? It's like Legos, and there's some people that love to do it. I also hate working on my car. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. Have to do it. I can do it. I hate it. So I'd rather be drawing or making videos or hanging out with the family. I don't want to sit around and solder for hours. If I'm doing something, I want to go out and fly it. I want to go use it. If I got a motorcycle, I want to ride it. I don't want to work on it. I'm not saying I can't, but there's a lot of people like me. I think Ron is possibly one of those people as well. He wants to just get the enjoyment in it. Now, that doesn't mean one is better than the other, or one is wrong and one is right.
Here's the nice part about what you're saying is that for guys like you and Lon and a number of others, that's what DJI is aiming for.
Right, exactly. And that's great. And I hope that,
there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. But I don't, basically, I just don't feel like it's going to be a total sweeping revolution across the board in the world of FPV.
Right.
Building a camera bird right now is really, really a very small sect of people do that.
And they're very big drones, and they're very expensive.
And they do it for a really specific purpose.
That's
They go out and they build that drone for a very specific purpose. Whereas with FPV, I still think there's going to be tons of people building their freestyle rigs, because the DJI drone is not going to be able to replace all the freestyle rigs out there. It's just not.
That is correct.
It's going to be very pigeonholed, I think. That's just my opinion.
Just like in the RC community, when I say RC, I mean the cars again. When you get into the guys racing, I have a lot of friends that still race. One of them is one of the top on-road drivers in the nation. He's in the top 10 and stuff. Anyways, point is, they don't buy a pre-made kit.
Nope.
Right? So same with the racing drone guys. They're not going to start using these kits unless they're doing a sponsored race that's all DJI FPV drones.
Exactly.
Then they'll do it. Because that's the same thing happens with the ready-to-run trucks. Traxxas is a great example of ready-to-run cars, right? If you're familiar with those.
They put a huge line of those things out.
And when the Slash first came out, it was sort of a ready-to-run truck, and everyone was like, okay, you can only race against other Slashes because we're buying them store-bought. That means all the motors are the same and everything.
That's right.
Nobody has a huge advantage. It's all about driving skill. And although you're not as fast as when you're building your own, there's something about it, about really racing, when everybody has the exact same specs.
Welcome to DRL.
Oh, is that what that's like?
Drone Racing League is what's called spec racing. Okay. Every single drone is exactly the same. Same motor, same prop, same battery, same weight, same GoPros, same everything.
Well, it seems like you'd have to do that when you're doing that. So now with the RC cars, when you're building your own, you can choose your different oils you want in your shocks.
That's correct.
You can do your spring tensions. You have to have the same motors, though, right? Or the same battery type styles, now that it's gone back to electric. Because when I was doing it, it was all nitro. But now the batteries have gotten so much better, they've reverted back to batteries. I don't know if they do hour-long mains, though, because the batteries can't last that long. So with nitro, it was badass, because you would do RC cars, and you would have to pit stop, and you'd have your pit crew catch the car, and someone take the little tank of fuel, fill it back up, and throw you back on the road.
and you do that for an hour, and about every
See,
8
now,
minutes, you have
I
to come
did the
in.
electric car racing back in the day. I did that 30 years ago, and we used the NiCad batteries and all that, and they had 2 classes.
Yeah.
You had your stock class, and then you had your unlimited class, and it was all based on the motor type, that you used.
See, now I'm talking at the club level, so like your local towns and stuff, not like the big national races. And for those, we would just have sportsman and expert.
Right. Yeah.
Now, you'd have 10 scale, A scale.
Yeah. Yep.
You'd have monster truck, whatever. I think those are the 3 classes. We did dirt. I never got into the on-road racing. Those things are hard at that speed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and Lon is saying that racing in general use will always be different regards to the type. But my thing is, I don't even know that DJI's FPV drone is going to be a quote-unquote general use drone. I really think it's going to be more like an iNav kind of thing. That, Doc, you agree, right? You think?
No, absolutely. I think that's probably where they're heading, is if they can get the best of both.
Yeah.
Where it's not fully autonomous, essentially like the way a Mavic is or a Phantom Pro, but get the position hold, where when you flip that switch, it just automatically levels, slows to a stop, and holds that altitude and position until you move it.
Yeah, because if you could fly it all of a sudden like a stabilized camera drone because you lost your bearings, that changes the game, right?
That changes the games. Yep.
Also,
absolutely.
for them to make money at this, and we're talking the money they want to make isn't the same kind of money that these racing drone people make.
No.
Like the frames and stuff. They're talking billions instead of millions, right? So they probably want to reach out to the masses, right? If they're going to do it this way, they need those masses.
When you think about how RC is right now for copters, okay, in particular, you have 2 distinct camps. You have camera drone guys, and then you have FPV guys, whether they race or freestyle or what. They're all lumped in that same camp. And what DJI, if we're seeing what we think we're seeing, if they take and can combine the best of the 2, they will slice into both of those camps and overlap.
Right.
And the more they overlap, the bigger slice of the pie they will get.
Yeah.
Now,
it's
it's
going to
not
be interesting.
going to take away from the FPV guys at all, because the guys that race and freestyle and want to do that, they're still going to do that.
Yeah,
the guys that want to be strictly camera drones and do it professionally or even semi-professionally, they are still going to do that.
Right.
But the average person in that bell curve, remember, it's still a dang bell curve. The majority of the people fall in that middle ground that wouldn't mind being able to do both.
Yeah.
With the same machine.
I guess we'll have to see if they can actually pull that off, because man, it's that's going to be tough. But
There's
it is
the big
DJI
catch,
though.
The catch is they have to be able to sell it separately as well. So if you crash it, you can at least replace that whole unit, even if they don't sell you the parts.
Well, it only takes 2 pieces, quite frankly. Well, 3.
Well, it
takes
depends
3.
how they
It
build
takes
it.
3.
I mean,
It takes 3 pieces to accomplish it. Okay.
So keep in mind,
you got to
when
have
they
the
build this
GPS. You got to have the receiver that, the flight controller receiver that does all of the calculations, and then you have to have some form of a sensor on it facing down, and that's it.
But it also, we got to see, DJI likes things to look good, right?
Yeah.
So it's probably not just going to be a carbon fiber frame with things all exposed. It's going to probably contained in some kind of body.
It's possible
that you can't get to easily. And that makes them now have power over having you to send it in and things like that. Now, if you break it, shatter it, and they sell a replacement of just the drone, so you don't have to worry about buying a whole new set with the controller and everything else. And now here's the other catch, is with the technology that's in the GoPros and the stabilization even DJI has tried to do in the Osmo Action.
Yeah.
If they can implement even their attempt at their stabilization on the Osmo Action that doesn't have horizon lock and isn't as anything crazy as like what I show you guys in the 9 or the Max, but even that first stage that they did on the Osmo Action with that stabilization built into the one camera, no need for a GoPro, no need for anything else on it because it's already got that quality.
Right.
That's right. That's what I would love. That's what I would love to see, an air unit. I would love to see an air unit that has a built-in stabilization unit so that when you write that video to that card, you've got stabilized video, or hell, even like super high quality video, all built in to like, that's like my number one wish for like an air unit 2 for DJI FPV is try killing GoPro. Let's not have to run a GoPro anymore. That's what I would love.
They're gonna do that.
Eventually.
They will, because they're already trying to compete with GoPro as an action camera, which it's a great vlogging camera, the Osmo Action, but it's not an action camera. Okay, I'll tell you that. I use these things daily. You might use it as one, whatever. It's not as good as what GoPro is offering as an action camera, but it's great for it's a great point and shoot. That's small.
Well, like you make a good point, Sean. You know, it's not an action camera for the way you use one.
Yeah, but it's okay for someone who's doing like Disneyland with their family, maybe some jogging, some light
riding bikes and stuff.
I use it for head cams too. I use it as a head cam too for reviews where you're just flying a drone and you want to show it.
It's great for that kind of stuff.
I love it for that,
especially for the price. You can sometimes find it for $200.
The mic adapter is really cheap now too. I got it for like, I forget what it was, $18 now on Amazon. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, you know, DJI's gone a long way with a lot of this stuff. You know, it's getting there. I mean, they look at that Insta360 Go, that little one. Look what it can do with the horizon lock.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that's amazing what that little one can do.
I mean, when we're talking about impressive stuff, let me show you this. This is good for a laugh too. As we're talking about technology getting crazier and crazier, watch this.
I don't think I can do that.
That's the Skydio following me, and the GoPro Max. And watch how stable the camera shots are when it switches to the GoPro.
Oh,
like I'm bouncing around like crazy, and there's no shaking that at all.
And that's why you got to be careful in backcountry. But the Skydio kept through the trees. Did you see it?
Yeah, so
that was pretty good.
Yeah, the Skydio didn't lose me through those trees as I busted my ass.
Oh man, that white stuff is the reason why I don't go anywhere near there during that time of year.
I am going to try and switch my camera back and see if it works now.
I am such a desert rat, guys. It's not even funny. So, nope. Yep, no audio. That's weird. Yeah, switch back to the other camera, Sean. Yep, no audio. We see the little mic with the line through it. There you go. Oh boy. Now we've got no audio there. No audio.
Nope.
Of course, we could mess with Sean and just kind of go like.
Now?
Oh, there you go. Now you're there.
My Black Magic, nothing's been touched. The cables are all the same.
I wonder if it's overheating.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel very hot.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be obvious if it was overheating. It would feel hot. So.
Well, kind of like today when my batteries went up in flames.
Yeah, something like that, where at least scorch marks, you know.
Yeah, well, we know that it lasts at least an hour, so I can have the nicer audio, the nicer setup for at least an hour, right?
Yeah. Well, guys, you know, if it's doing that, Sean, you might want to consider sending it in, telling them, you know, contacting them, letting them know something's not right with it, because it shouldn't do that.
No, it shouldn't, because now I can't get any change in my buttons or nothing.
Maybe you should open it up and figure out where that cold solder joint is.
I got all the stuff to do, and I don't want to do it.
Oh goodness!
Why send it in, right?
This is the most building I want to do. I want to screw this on here.
And
that's it.
That's okay.
No, I understand that. I understand.
Are there better antennas I should be using, Doc?
Yes.
Kelly gave me the cheapies.
Well, the one the mushroom one is Fat Shark. That's just a Fat Shark antenna. That'll work just fine. That other one's a patch antenna. It's okay.
So what should I use instead of
I'll be honest with you. If you want to just go buy a good set of antennas, find video aerial systems on either Race Day Quads or Direct, and what you want is the Crosshair Extreme. Okay, and that's the patch style one, but it's not a patch. Okay, matter of fact, it'll look. Now mine's a handmade version, but this is a Crosshair. Okay, you have to put this cover over it because the elements are so delicate inside. But this is a Crosshair. It works exactly the same way. The Crosshair Extreme's much better. It's
how much do those
more refined? John, how much are the Crosshair Extremes? I forget.
I think the crosshairs are like $25, something like that.
Let me look. Let me see if I can find them real quick.
So that's what you have there, John. That's what you guys recommend.
This is the cross. This is actually the older. This is the older version of the Crosshair. Yeah.
Okay, so what I want to do is get rid of the flat one and buy one of those.
Yes, absolutely.
And what will that do for me?
Well, it's a directional antenna. It gives you a very wide beam, but gives you very directional view for what it sees.
So you're saying that I'll get less static?
It will give you a stronger signal out in front of you. Okay. Then you want to use.
This is the VAS Ion.
That's the other one. Yeah, the Ion.
That's better than the mushroom one I have.
That is the omnidirectional version of the Fat Shark, and it's a much better antenna.
So it'll work behind me better?
Yeah, it's omnidirectional.
If I'm facing this way and I went behind me, I'd get more static.
Yes.
Yeah. And listen, especially for the Tiny Hawks too, because I think I don't know. There's the Tiny Hawk S, I think, can run higher than 25 milliwatts, right? I wonder if he even knows what it's running.
I don't know. You might have to go into Betaflight to change it, though, is the thing. Or into the goggles and do it through the goggles.
Yeah. That's a whole other story.
The Crosshair Extreme is $35.
$35. Ooh.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe it was $25 back then, but maybe it's a little more expensive.
Let me see if I can. There we go. It's right there.
Yeah, I've got the old Crosshair, but that's the one you want, Sean, right there.
That's the one you want. That is the Crosshair Extreme.
You have to send me that link later. I'll go.
Just go look up video aerial systems.
I'm afraid to open any other web browser.
No, not right now. Yeah, not right now. Later, just go look them up later. Video aerial systems, and this is
You put the Ion too on there, right? The Ion as well.
Yeah, it's here. Right there. The Ion V2 is $14.
Yep. Okay, so that's like $30, and I got a new antenna set up that should do better than this.
It will do fantastic.
And I don't need different goggles then. So that'll make a big difference.
No.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, dude. If you remember, just send me a link to those.
Yeah, I can do that. I mean, there's a lot of cool components that you don't have to make yourself. That you can buy good stuff. If you want. I make my stuff because even though video aerial systems makes very good stuff, they make their stuff as if they are hand making them. So they test them very, very, very thoroughly. Where you go to Fat Shark or Immersion RC or any other antenna manufacturer that has them made over in China, they have a set criteria. The base dimensions have to be that when it starts, but when you get to the other end of the manufacturer, there's not a good enough QC to go in there with the dial calipers and measure them and make sure they are within a very, very close tolerance.
Yep.
They don't do that. Vaz does. Yeah. They go in and they are very diligent about making sure their antennas work. Right.
I mean, if it makes the signal stronger than what I've got, then that's something worth investing because I'm not quite ready to spend the money on the DJI goggles yet. Because, and here's exactly why. Because I've also been hearing what Lon's talking about.
Yes.
About talk of a new version of the FPV goggles. System,
yes.
And there's a chance that they'll come out or be announced before Christmas.
Yep.
So I'm sort of holding off a little bit just to see.
We'll see, but you know what? I asked Bardwell about that during the summer, and he basically said that he didn't think that a new goggle was going to come out this year based on DJI's general product release cycles.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he told me.
Well, it's hard for me to shell out those when I just got these And for $30, I can make the signal better. And I'm only playing around with a Tiny Hawk. And there's a couple other little drones that are like $100 I've been looking at, and they come with, I think, the stuff already in them to be able to just bind and fly with these.
Yes.
I think they'd probably work with the controller I have, but I don't know for sure.
Your controllers, if I remember correctly, is FR Sky.
It's the cheapy one that comes with that kit that's linked up there.
Yeah, it's FR Sky Protocol, most likely, or Access. I don't know which one it is. I'd have to go look.
And Lon, I would love to build my own camera, but I don't know how to build a camera. So I would design a camera, but I couldn't build it.
You know what, Sean, too? Definitely wait until like Black Friday or something, because I bought my DJI kit during the Father's Day sale.
Yes, and I sort of regret not buying it. You told me about it the day, if you remember.
Yeah, it was $640 for the goggles and 2 air units. It was just time to go. I mean,
and you got to look
the controller though.
Correct.
Right, yeah. But for me, it was just time to go, time to give it a try. I mean, at the current price, it's a little.
You just like got to shop.
$800-900. And Chuck P, up in the top, I have a link for the Tiny Hawk 2 beginner kit.
Yep.
And that's what we've been talking about for the last 2 hours.
Yep.
That's basically, I've got the next step up. I've been learning FPV. I got a video coming out in 2 days showing my first experiences with it. Lots of smiles in that video, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's I'm loving it. It's a great, easy way. We talked about how the controller can be plugged in to be used for simulators.
Yep.
And so you don't have to buy a cheapy controller for that and this. So just save your money, buy the Tiny Hawk 2 kit. You can use the link. It supports the channel, or you can go out and find it on your own. It's on Amazon and everywhere else. It won't hurt my feelings if you don't use the link. It does help the channel though.
Effectively for $200.
170.
Including, well, no, 200 because you buy extra batteries.
Yes, you should. You're right.
You can
you
fly
should buy some
more.
extra batteries.
So for $200, you can sit there and go hog wild.
Yep, and that's what I've been doing, and it works outside. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's for indoors only."
No,
there's no winds. I had a blast.
Exactly, it has to do with the wind. If there's strong winds, don't try it. It'll pick it up and just out the door.
Which I show you in my video. Like,
yes,
all those. Well, let's just, if you're new here, let's show that again.
Yeah, show it again, Sean.
Yeah, why not?
I think that's
this
a good idea.
This is just a compilation of crashes, and there's a lot more of these in the video, but this is still fun because I put a little music to it. It makes crashes more fun when there's music to them.
Absolutely.
Right? So here's the crashes.
Kind of like Benny Hill, you know.
Exactly.
I still
so Sean, the link in your description.
Is it not working?
No, it's
no. I didn't see it there.
Oh, it might not be in the description. I think it's in the comments or in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I put it in the description yet. I always forget to put anything in the description until after the video is done.
So let's say, all right.
Let me answer Chuck's question.
Oh, go for it. Yeah, what's
he asked, how's the durability after the crashes? Well, you saw all those crashes I just did, and it's perfect. It's like I never crashed it. So
the Tiny Hawk, the Beta FPVs, anything that's this size, for the most part, is going to be relatively durable. Okay, some are better than others.
And let me clarify,
component-wise. Okay.
That video you just watched, it was 25 mile per hour gust with a solid 14 to 16 mile per hour wind. Okay, not the best time to go out and try for your first time flying the thing. Okay,
I can't wait for Sean to get out there with dead calm winds and just go rip it.
Well, that's
in Acro mode.
Well, this is not ripping it, but this was also. I'll share it again. This was my first Acro flight today. No winds, and you know, I mean, this is all the same days. I mean, basically, you saw what you saw in that video, and this is the next day with no winds. So it makes a difference. The winds definitely on these little drones makes a huge difference.
Yes,
a little more sense. I can't believe that I'm doing this already. I wasn't expecting this. Whoa. Okay, whoa. Okay, it's so much faster. So let's try.
It's so fun.
Oh, okay. Flips are easier in Acro mode. Holy crap. That was cool. That was accidental. Okay. Don't go on the roof. Where am I? Oh, crap. I'm so high up. I can't get it pointed. Oh, there we are. Okay. Woo. Okay, so that longer flight is all in the video. Like I said, I don't want to share the whole video here.
That's awesome.
But I've got 4 batteries, and I went out today and I flew all 4 batteries, and I started in angle mode, and on the 4th battery that was in acro mode. So the day before, John saw a clip of the dogs chasing the drone in the house, and they made it really hard to fly in the house. They, like we were talking earlier, they jump up and try to grab the damn thing. They don't care if it hits their mouths. But my house is tiny up here in the mountains. You guys saw how expensive it is to live up here, so I have a small house to be able to live here. Anyways, it doesn't really open it up to fly this inside. So when the wind is dead, I'm going outside on the front porch. I'm zipping around the trees and stuff. And all these videos, the longer clips, are actually in the video that I'm working on. That quick clip of me crashing. Honestly, there's tons of flight of me not crashing. I actually went through that day in the wind and found just the crashes to put them together. It's more fun. Like I can't have a 15-minute long video that turns into a 20-minute long video because I'm sharing me just flying around going nowhere in the wind, but it's just sitting here trying to go, but it's not really good. That's not as fun as it crashing. So there it is. Hey, Rick Halber's with us. You're up late, Rick.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah. So Rick paid $169 for the Tiny Hawk kit.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's $169, $180. Yep. That's
so you'll spend another $20-$30 for a box of extra batteries, and you're off to the races.
There is a version that you'll find on some of these websites that's cheaper. That one's it's not bind and fly. That one is bind and fly. You have to bind it and then you can fly it. It's not ready to fly. So the cheaper one, as far as I can tell, there's not much of a difference besides that. So I could be wrong, but
I was looking at the Tiny Hawk 2 on Banggood, and I was pulling up a coupon code that I found, and it drops it from $189 to $162
on Banggood.
I put it on Banggood.
That's awesome.
I put it in the chat, so that's your link to Banggood, right?
See, as long as you're willing to wait for it, it's worth it. If you're in no hurry for it, man, shop. Wait 3 weeks for it. It'll be fine. When it gets there,
it says it should show up anywhere from like 10 to 15 days.
Yeah. Exactly. Which
isn't too bad.
And for $162 to get all that stuff all in one, I mean, wow, that coupon code took what? $27 off of it.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's the price of a box of batteries for it.
Yeah, exactly. Or extra parts, or a new frame.
Yeah,
motor.
I mean, like mine. My Beta. I bought a box of these canopies for the thing. I think I spent like $5 on them. And you break them. They're expendable.
Yeah. Lon is saying that's a killer deal. Yeah, guys. Yeah. I don't know how long that coupon code is supposed to last, but if you go to his link and put in that code BG15THRTF, it only works when they're ready to fly. It should drop it down. I'm seeing it right now. It works. 162. That's incredible.
Yeah, so you can click the link.
That's a killer deal.
Chat, there's a link, and then you can use his coupon code, and then that saves you guys some killer money, and it helps my channel. So, and I'm not just saying this about this drone because I want you to buy it through my link. These things are actually really fun.
And let me tell you something about Emacs too, real quick. Emacs, if you have any problems with their stuff, no matter where you bought it from, Emacs USA will help you. I have dealt with their support for some dead products that have come from Banggood, and they were awesome. They were absolutely awesome. So no matter where you buy it from, you don't have to worry about it. Emacs will warranty it.
And then for the guys that want to build their own stuff, you go click on his link and then go order all the components.
Exactly.
And go build you what you want.
Yep, you could do that too. I'm not sure if Banggood tracks that. Amazon does that. So if you were to ever follow one of my links in my descriptions to anything in Amazon, and you're like, but I want to go buy this. If you click my link first for like 48 hours, it helps push things down. And still help.
It all counts.
Relationship with them.
Exactly. And you know what? I don't think you're gonna find it for 162.
No, that's a hell of a deal with that code. Because then you can spend the extra $40 in batteries. And Banggood has a killer deal on batteries. Like they have a 10 pack for like $12 or something.
Yeah, I mean, look, Look, I'm a Banggood affiliate, so full disclosure and all that. But I also order stuff from Banggood on my own, and as long as you're willing to wait for it to come on the slow boat, it'll be fine. It's perfectly fine.
Now here's the flip. Now one other thing. Here's the flip side. To all of that. Let's say you do order it and you get it and you're flying it and you break something. You need something. Don't be afraid to go and look local first.
Yeah,
because you'd be surprised what some of these hobby shops in your town might have in store. Okay, right before going up to Spin Down, I called around Denver to find a hobby store that had stuff for FPV. Turns out Hobbytown does carry some stuff. They've got some motors, some ESCs, some frames, some part. They don't have everything, but they've got a little smattering of the things that you might need in that area. So don't be afraid to go check local first. But if you can't find it, again, Race Day Quads, Get FPV. I mean, the list is out there, guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
and Amazon.
And Amazon and eBay.
You
My
got
goodness.
Amazon Prime 2 days, right? Free shipping.
Yeah, Amazon's good. Although I find that with a lot of the drone products, they kind of hide the shipping costs in there, which kind of sucks. Like even though you got Amazon Prime, you're still paying the shipping for that.
And let me tell you why, John. Because my girlfriend has an Amazon store. That's what she does for a living, and she does that exact same thing. You have to offer free shipping on Amazon because nobody will buy your shit if you don't. Nope. So they just tack on $5-10 onto the cost of the product. So you're still paying for shipping.
That's it.
You're still paying for the shipping, but it's free shipping. No, it's not. You're paying for it.
Yeah,
there ain't nothing free.
Rick is probably right. I would imagine returning a product through Banggood is a pain in the ass. So,
especially here in the States.
But like John said earlier, you've got a company like this that has a U.S. version, and you can just go through them to get it all taken care of.
Yep.
But this has been fun.
Race Day Quads. I like Race Day Quads too. I'm going to put in an order with them tonight.
Yep. Yeah, for the most part, the ones that I deal with the most, eBay, Amazon, Race Day Quads, Get FPV, Ready Made RC, and Rotor Riot. Those are the 6 that I go to when I look for something I need or want. I check all of those first to see who's got what and at what price. And that's how I do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll check Banggood last if I'm just sort of part shopping and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cheap. I'll order it, forget about it, and I'll have it in a month because I don't need it.
I'm noticing on Banggood that everything seems a little cheaper than what it is everywhere else.
Yeah, that's typically it, but that's the waiting game, right?
That's right.
I don't think anybody's going to find the Tiny Hawk ready to fly for $162 anywhere. You're saving almost $30 by getting it from PG, probably. But you're just not going to find that probably anywhere else.
Yeah. I do wish that eBay was the way it used to be. Do you guys remember when it wasn't stores and it was just people like us and crap on it?
Yep.
Oh, boy.
It was awesome like then. It was so good. You could find stuff for so dirt cheap. It was like a garage sale online.
Yeah, it was more like that. Well, I'll tell you with Banggood, for me, if I can't find what I'm looking for at those 6 or 7 places that I normally look, then I look at Banggood. And I'll usually find what I'm looking for and maybe even a couple of different versions of it that may be better or more, just different styles of it. So I use them as a last resort because by then it's not a matter of, okay, well, I can't get it in 2 or 5 days. I'm going to have to wait for it. Exactly. So then I just order it.
Right. And this stuff, Banggood sells a lot of stuff that's actually good, but but you can only get it from them, right? Like
Correct.
The E-Sheen goggles are actually a pretty famous starter goggle. Like if you want something
what is
better,
the
EV800s.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, and I was sent the 800 DMs for review. Those are the ones that fit with your goggles, and you can DVR your flight and all that stuff. Yep. They're great.
Yeah. So I got a question for you guys. What would happen? You see how it's just a little poofy? I don't know if you can see.
Yep.
Let me make it. Maybe you can see it. I'll make it bigger. Right? What if I took an exact blade and just went slice? What would happen?
If it's fully charged, you will get some flame and a lot of smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
And it will get very hot.
But I'm not I'm just piercing this little covering.
If you get into the silver part, because that's what's actually making the seal, the chemicals that are in there react violently when energized with oxygen.
So does that mean I should just take a hammer to it outside instead?
Exactly.
It'd be fun
Or
to
should I
watch.
take a nail? Which one should I do? A nail to it? And
Nail.
just slow plug GoPro right next to it on 240?
Small nail, not a big nail, but a very fine one.
This one's so puffy, I don't feel comfortable having it in the house.
Maybe you could mount it on a dartboard and throw an
Oh, now there you go.
There you go.
That would be good.
I
Yeah.
don't have a dartboard, but
There
I
you
can
go,
find
mount
Oh, wait a minute. We're back to the tool thing. You're going to need zip ties to zip tie it to the dartboard.
I'm just going to use double-sided tape.
Yeah, there you go. And then you're going to need the dartboard, and you're going to need the tripod for the GoPro to be nice and close, right? Because you want the best image of that.
So I'm going to have to start a second channel. I'm going to have to start
Oh,
with
my
Chris Rollins.
goodness.
It's going to be like Chris Rollins blowing shit up.
Yeah, that would be pretty impressive, though. Hit that thing with a dart.
This is a video idea in the making.
Yeah.
Sean Oz FPV.
Well, what do they got? Oh, yeah. Lon says hot glue. Yeah.
Yep, I got hot glue. I have hot glue.
Hot glue.
I don't need a real dartboard. I can just hot glue that fucker to my fence, right?
Yeah, but you got to put the bullseye on it, right? I mean, that's the whole point.
Well, then I'll get a piece of wood. I don't want to paint my fence, so.
Yeah.
But I don't want to just throw this in the trash either, so I'd rather make it explode first.
Absolutely. Take it outside, fully charge it, and then do it. Because that's when it'll.
Right now.
No, it's already bled off.
What? It's fully charged. I just charged it after I was done flying.
Nope. It'll by the time you get to it and actually check it on a meter, you'll find that it'll be down just a little bit.
That's enough so it won't explode anymore?
No, but it's just when you get it fresh off the charger, it'll have the most amount of energy in it.
Rick wants me to put it in salt water, but I don't think it explodes.
No, that
doesn't sound as fun, Rick. That sounds
duh.
What do I put it? I know. We can do it with muriatic acid from the swimming pool.
There you go. Lon Dennard says drone jackass. There's an idea.
Yeah. Well,
just call it drone ass.
I was going to say let's leave that one to Chris Rollins. He's definitely got that down.
He's got the space, man. Like when I moved up here, I gave away all my space.
Yep.
I used to have that 3-car garage back in Houston and access to all kinds of just land. And I miss having space.
Yep.
But it's a trade-off for the mountains, and it's a hell of a trade-off. Like I keep telling myself that the weather is worth it, which it is. A 357, Rick. What? You go?
No,
okay, I like the dart. We'll go with the dart.
The bullet's bigger than the battery.
You're right. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Salt water neutralizes it. That's what I. That's what I was saying. Putting in salt water was no fun.
4 people with the chat, so you understand why salt water works. Salt water is conductive. Okay, so if you drop a battery with leads into salt water, just the bare leads, it will conduct across the open salt water. Salt water is conductive. That's okay. I'm going to go all super tech on you. That's why a magneto hydrodynamic drive system works. Is because of the salt water. You put that system in fresh water, it will do nothing. So.
Right, so that's actually what I need to do now with all those batteries. Right now, all those batteries, they're literally sitting in a garbage bag, in a metal bucket on my porch.
Oh, that's a flaming bomb waiting to happen.
Well, I need to. I don't have salt that I can just dump all over. I gotta go get some salt and fill it up. And because I was thinking, where do I dispose of this crap? Where the hell do I even take this?
Well, actually,
Best Buy like that.
Yeah, Best Buy will take them.
Do I want to transport them in my car like that though?
I put it in a pickup truck, but I drive a Dodge 1-ton. I mean,
is this
I don't
another
worry
tool
about it.
that we need to have to fly FPV?
Absolutely, you got to have a truck.
I have these, Sean, and these are good. I have these, Sean, and they're good.
So my question is, the ones that I have that came with it are 450.
Yep.
And I was thinking the 550 might give me a slightly longer flight time.
Remember, your weight starts to trade off for milliamps.
Well, then what am I going to see a difference with the 550 from the 450?
Marginal.
Just get the 450s. Honestly, I read into these, and some people who bought these and they recommended the 450.
Why?
And Because they've just, like he said, they found that the weight trade-off was just not worth it.
Yeah,
It's just not worth it.
don't gain enough for the extra weight.
Are those actually that much longer than these?
Just probably heavier.
Yeah,
Okay.
heavier, really.
Yeah, because I've got 3 that are one super. This one is crazy poofy. I gotta get rid of it. I've been putting it on a plate, letting it sit out overnight. So if it does poof by some reason,
it won't do it.
The biggest thing you could do for your micros, and this is super technical, is you gotta flash 48 kilohertz JESC. You gotta do that, guys.
I have no idea what you just said. You lost me, John.
But that will add at least like 30, 40 seconds of flight time. I swear.
I won't argue that. I've seen enough guys do it that it really does make a difference.
Do you guys want to speak in like idiot terms for me real quick?
Okay. Effectively, it's the rate at which the flight controller is telling the motor to spin. Well, here's a better example. Your power in your house is 60 cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
But over in Canada, it's 50 cycle. So it's the difference between what we run at 50 cycle right now, stock. They're running 60 cycle with that other firmware.
Wait, so you're saying in my Tiny Whoop or Tiny Hawk, you want me to?
It flashes. It flashes the firmware on the ESCs and changes the rate at which it.
Are you talking about plugging into that app like you did at Spin Down?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you lost me. I thought you were talking about something I could do without having to hook it up to the computer.
No, you have to program this.
Why didn't you do all this for me while you were here, man?
Because I don't do that part.
Yeah, why not? You were here. You had it plugged in. You
No. I don't use that particular firmware because it only works on stuff like this.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. You only want to do it on it.
Oh, so I need a particular app, not the one that you were using. A different.
Yeah, it's the one that John mentioned. That's
I mean, honestly, and Doc can vouch for this. It is so easy to do. I mean, when you tell people you got to flash the JESC 48 kilohertz firmware, they're like, "What?"
Yeah, I'm still saying what.
But
they get the eyes about this big, you know.
Yeah,
if you solve the process, it is so easy. It's probably harder to I don't know.
It's harder to explain it to somebody than it is to just show them this is all you got to do.
So once I figure out what it is, I'll explain it to the other people like me who don't know because I can speak dumb talk like that.
Right. Like in my video for this one, I actually did it step by step so people could see this is not that scary. It takes like 2 minutes of your time. You actually spend more time waiting for the ESCs to be flashed. You can have a cup of coffee.
Yeah. See, here's the problem is so let me explain something. So when I used to paint motorcycles, right, you use the same paint, but it's different. You know what's different about it? All the terminology, right? So compared to a canvas. So basically you're using terminology that most all of us would understand if you just replace certain words with different words and explained it in a different way. Like when you say flash, lots of us are like, what the fuck's that mean?
Yep. Good point.
Right?
Good point.
So you understand it because you've been using that terminology for a while. Obviously, when you plug it in, if you say, hey, plug it into your computer, you're going to go into this app. You're going to change a code here. You're going to hit save. It's done.
Yep.
Super easy, right? But
it's pretty much
flash the ESC, blah, 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 blah. Everybody that doesn't do it is like, huh? Right?
Yeah.
So that's why you see people do that face.
Speaking of updating things, this is for new people.
Like English.
I see this mistake happen. I see this mistake happen so much. They get a new drone, like a bind and fly, and they see the version of Beta Flight that's on there. Yes. And they realize, this is not an up-to-date version of Beta Flight. I better go download the new version and flash it to it. Biggest mistake that you can probably make as someone who's new, right? If you're buying like a bind and fly or something like that, don't do that. It's factory tuned 9 out of 10 times from whoever you're buying it. By flashing a new version of Beta Flight, you just screwed up the whole configuration. It may not even work because you don't know what the manufacturer had put on there. So leave it alone.
It's funny you say that, John, because that also goes towards other things besides just drones. Like there are tons of things you can buy that are set up, and sometimes you think you're getting the newest firmware, but it's a
you've got a newer firmware on it prior to actually doing it, and you've actually reverted to an old firmware and you lose functionality because they haven't actually released that new firmware out on their computer websites yet. And then you're just like, God, and now you can't get it back.
And now you can't, that's another mistake too. When you get a bind and fly drone, the first thing you should do is
fly it.
Well, okay. The second thing you save the configuration from your flight to your computer. So if anything happens, you've got the original copy. Otherwise, you've got to go find somebody who has it. But yeah, I mean, look, we have it pounded in our heads to update our devices. You've got to update your iPhone, update your PC, update your Mac, update everything. We have updates pushed in our face when it comes to our electronic devices. But with FPV, if it's working good, leave it alone. Don't touch it necessarily. You'll just put yourself in a world of crap.
Yep. I have a flight controller that was put out by SpeedyBee. Okay, they're the ones that do the app on the phone where you can connect via the Bluetooth, right?
Yep.
I made that exact same mistake. I seen that it was on an older version of Betaflight, and I went in and found the newer version of Betaflight for that board, flashed it on it. I lost all the functionality of the Bluetooth. And then when I tried to get it back, which I did do a copy, a dump of everything that's in that, programming, tried to put it back in, and it would come up with 5 distinct errors on 5 lines of code that I could not get it to not do.
Yeah, because
they did something specific when they programmed that flight controller at the factory that allowed it to work correctly. And even me going back and reflashing it, reprogramming it with the original code, it still would not accept it. So I still got it. It's in the drawer over here. And I keep it as a reminder not to do exactly that.
Yep. And a lot of new people, a lot of new and old people will make that mistake too. Trying to update something, you got to be so careful. I mean, this runs an old version of Betaflight, 3.5.7. I would not change it for nothing because Happy Model tuned it perfect.
See that? That beast right there is flying on 3.57.
3.57 was so good.
It just works.
It does. It's fine. And you know what scared me about 4 for the longest time was the VTX tables. I didn't want to deal with that crap.
I'm still that way.
Well, you got to deal with it. You got to deal with it eventually. Deal with it eventually.
All right, guys. I just looked at the timer, and we're 8 minutes shy of 3 hours on this show. So I
covered a lot, actually.
Huh?
We've covered a lot, though.
Yeah, we did. So if anybody watches this in the replay and you got this far, more power to you, man.
You betcha.
Idaho quadcopter. Good to see.
Hey, is he in?
Good to see. Yep, I've got
I'm assuming Marcus is lurking there. Yeah, he's in here just in time to say goodnight to everybody.
Yes.
So we're going to wrap this up over the next minute or so, guys.
Absolutely. Yep.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else super beginnery.
Here's the super beginnery. If you want to get in the same way that Sean wants to get in, go click on his link and go get that kit.
Yep.
Straight up. You won't regret it. You won't be out a ton of money, and you will have all of the basic things to get started.
Except for
it's that simple. Except for tools. Yeah, you'll have to get those at Harbor Freight. So.
And I'm going to drop the coupon code in there. I'm going to drop it down to $162 US, guys. Just there it is. BG. It's in the chat. BG15THRTF. Copy and paste it in there once it's in your cart. That's probably going to be the best price you can find for the thing online.
Yep. What I'm going to do is I'll take that coupon code, John, and whenever I will put it in my pinned post tomorrow with the link. So if anyone does happen to watch it in the replay, because they're probably not going to get to the end here, they'll be able to do that. I'm sort of having fun just clicking full screen like on all of us, trying to get whoever's talking like as the big screen.
Well, let me end this with one thing for the guys that might be interested in actually building something. Go click on Sean's links on Amazon. Hit me up for a list of parts, and I can point you in the right direction for some basic components that will give you something that you can put together and fly. And it's not hard. It just takes a little time to build, if you're into that.
If we want to go toward the Banggood side, Banggood actually has the Tyro series of drones.
Yep.
Have you heard of those,
Yep.
Doc?
Yep. Those are very good.
Yeah, Mitch, old guy in a drone, he loves I think it's the Tyro 79. It's a really good kit.
I would get the next one up from that, though. Personally, I would get it.
Maybe
the 129.
I could be forgetting.
Or 109. I'd have to look it up, yeah. But yeah, I'd get the next one up from the 79. So, but yeah, I mean, they got some good stuff out there, if you don't want to build. Don't be afraid to, to go do it. Go buy the stuff. But because by the time you get into it and get started, eventually you're going to break something. At that point, you're going to have to, you will have to learn how to fix something.
Nope, not if you get the DJI insurance.
No,
I know.
Guy, I had too much fun learning how to fly all this stuff again. It's just, I fly full size too. So, and I'm building my own airplane. It's like building stuff just as fun. I enjoy it. So
I'm just unlimited time between running my studio, having to, like tomorrow, because I did this so late, I'm now not going to be able to finish my edit because tomorrow between like 8 a.m. and 1 p.m., I'm drawing for clients all day. Then I'm going to the studio. I'll have bloody gloves on all day into the evening. Then I'll come home and I'll have family time. So then Wednesday I go to CrossFit in the morning. And then hopefully, then I got to draw for people. And I'll squeeze in a little editing time and then maybe a little editing time after the girlfriend. If I wake up in the middle of the night and everybody's asleep, I'll come in here and edit a little bit until I get tired again. I don't get a lot of spare time. So
I know the feeling.
Build just doesn't exist for me right now.
I get that. No, I get that. It can be very time consuming. It can be very, and you know what? I'm going to say something too. To be honest with you, I like the flying side more than the building side. I've had my own frustrating days with the builds. I mean, trust me. I've said to myself, God damn it, I wish I just bought something. Yep. But you tolerate it.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think we're going to wrap it with that. I appreciate everybody. If you guys hang out, I'll see you in the thing. You got one more thing?
One more thing to show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
This is amazing, guys.
That is so cool, man.
Rick Williamson made these. I hope that's coming through good. Is that coming through good, Sean?
It looks great.
Isn't that amazing?
I have 6 of them.
Did you?
I got it set. I figured, you know what? I hosted the damn thing.
I got one for the wife and I. Mine's hanging up right here. Nice. So for me, this is my wife's.
We've got ours on the coffee table.
Rick, man, that was awesome.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with that. You know what? I got to say what was really cool was at dinner the last night, and all you guys gave me a toast. I've never had anyone toast me like that, so that was pretty dope.
Yeah, we had a good time, Sean.
I appreciated that, and I was so stoked that everybody that showed up had a good time, man.
Yep.
All right,
we got to get more people next time, hopefully.
Well, hopefully
I got to make it to one of these
politics and the Rona stuff is over with.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
we'll see. Make it easier. If you guys want to hang out just a second, I'm going to play this outro, and
absolutely,
we'll see you guys in the after thing. So thanks everyone who has come. Check the links. I'll be adding it to the description, or not the description. I'm sorry, the comments below, and I'll be posting John's thing with that as well if I can find it there, or maybe he'll tag onto it. So. Have a good night, everyone. Have a great week, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
All right.
Oh, and it didn't end in time. I fucked it up.